Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Gimmick. I am the Eyes Chica Trasnell, and I'm joined from the land of Lucha Libre, the very tan David. How's it going today?
It's going good. Yes, I'm in the land of Lucha Libre. I'm currently in Mexico.
Hmm.
I even bought another luchador mask while I was here. I'm just
Nice.
living it up.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, David's only gonna be here for the first 10, 15 minutes. We're gonna because we're doing it's our draft shakeup because we always do it before Money in the Bank. But so we're gonna do that, and then David's gonna give his quick thoughts on the shows, and then he's gonna bounce so we can let him go join his vacation. But he is luckily the grace us the present, so he can be here for the shakeup because gotta make some moves here, and then we're joined
Yeah.
by what did he say?
Is it the I mean, I'm wondering what everyone's wondering. Is it the Seth Riders or is it the Seth line?
The
I
Seth.
wonder what
Oh
this
right,
this new
yeah,
faction is gonna be
yeah.
called.
We're here with S Bubs. Yeah, it's funny how we got the hope is that all in the Death Riders are ending. It's kind of like the Bloodline ended, and then Death Riders took over, and then hopefully when the Death Riders take over, just like when whatever this is gonna be. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that because we got Money in the Bank and everything. But yeah, today we're gonna be talking. So yeah, it's our draft shakeup. We're gonna do the points, and we're gonna talk about who we're dropping, who we're keeping, if anyone like that. And then we're going to do Money in the Bank predictions, and we're going to review Saturday night's main event, Battleground, and Double or Nothing, and some random stuff. We'll talk about R-Truth, we'll talk about Mariah May, we'll talk about Willow, some signings or releases or whatnot, and whatever tangents may happen. But that's kind of overall for the show. And then next week we will be back. I don't think we've figured out a date yet. I think we're going. I think we're planning this Sunday. I don't know why
I
I
think
haven't listed
so,
Sunday. Yeah, so
yeah. It is the mascot.
Dave's got the mask on. Scare me there for a second. So yeah, I think what we'll be doing is the Sunday after Money in the Bank. That's when we're gonna do that, and I think that's the only thing. That'll probably be a shorter show because we're just gonna be reviewing that. I know there'll be some news and whatnot, but that's just gonna be Money in the Bank. That and then. Yeah, and then our next kind of couple of weeks are looking like I think it's the last week of June. All this is kind of tentative. We can always change it around. It's probably going to be like an all like a predictions for All In, Evolution, what's the Great American
Saturday
Bash, all that
night's main
stuff.
event,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then we're gonna think. Well, I think what we're doing is July 13th. We're gonna do a big like WrestleMania show. We're gonna do a show where that's gonna be no tangents, very quick, because that weekend, which we'll talk about, we got Great American Bash, yeah, Evolution, and All In. So it's gonna be a packed one. So we'll figure that all out. And then 2 weeks after SummerSlam. So it's kind of like the rough schedule. And SummerSlam we'll do the same with WrestleMania. We'll do a night one, night two. So we got lots of stuff going on here. But S-Bubs, how's the draft looking like right now? We're at our first quarter stopping
Yeah.
point. If people don't know, we do this for Money in the Bank, Survivor Series, and Rumble, right? That's the other one, I think, right before?
Yeah, or
Yeah.
yeah, Rumble, WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, and Survivor Series.
Yeah, that's when we just like in GMO when you get a shake-up card. That's what we're doing here,
Yeah.
where we can draw
So this is
people,
like the
trade people.
longest, like it's like 5 months of no no changing
Yeah.
up once you pick your.
Okay,
Yeah.
and also I will read off the rosters right now. So, and if people don't know, this is our draft. It's based on points of winning, title losses, matches, stipulations. You can also lose points by failing cash-ins, rumbles, losses, etc. S Bubs currently has the man who's ruining pro wrestling, John Cena, Gunther, Penta, Io Sky, Naomi, Bailey, Jimmy Uso, Phoenix, Roxanne Perez, Rusev, and then his jobber pick. Could be Mr. Money in the Bank next week. Is
Yeah.
Solo. A jobber pick is you get points for losing and you get negative points for them
I mean, if he
winning.
loses on PLE, that's good for me.
That's good. But
Like
what
if
if he
he's in
wins
the
though? What
match,
if he wins?
yeah,
What if he
that's like a
cashes
minus
in?
minus 100. Yeah.
Yeah. Travis, let's pick my own is Rhea Ripley, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Charlotte Flair, Jay Uso, Randy Orton, Liv Morgan, Jacob Fatu, Aleister Black, Lyra Valkyria, and then my Jobber's Theory. And then David's picks are Cody Rhodes, Bianca Belair, CM Punk, Chelsea Green, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, Finn Balor, Montez Ford, and Carmelo Hayes is his jobber currently. So you got some points last Friday, but what are the points looking like, S Bubs? You got those?
Yeah. Wait, let me see here. I think. Uh. All right. Yeah, I have them here. Okay, so I'll start with David, who has 67 points total. Then I have, I think that's right. Yeah, it might be, I'll have to double check. It's in the range of like two in case I'm missing one,
That's
just
fine.
for
Yeah,
all these, I'll say.
this is the rough estimate. As long as you
Yeah.
got it at the end of the year.
Then Travis has 229 points. And then I have 214 points. So Travis is actually winning right now.
Oh, first time in ever. I was gonna say, David, I feel like it's the combination. You got Cody, Bianca, and CM Punk, who've all been away or just come promo. So your top three picks right now are talking a lot. And then you got Drew, who's injured. So you've had it's like your first season of GMO. You got a lot of missing injured people. But in that sense, so we'll go over if we're dropping anybody. So David, are you dropping anybody from your list?
I am dropping someone from my list.
Okay, who is that?
Okay.
I'm dropping Drew from my list.
Yeah, because that makes sense.
Okay.
But I think most people have reported that he's going to be gone for quite a while. So, okay. Is he the only drop you have?
I'm actually going to also drop CM Punk.
Oh, man, the punker.
Ooh.
He's
I
getting
love the
it.
man, but he's not wrestling enough.
He got you your WrestleMania points, and that's what you needed him for. That was
Yep,
about
Yeah.
it. So, okay. Anybody
Okay.
else?
that's it.
That's it. Okay. So, or I guess I would be next because, yeah, I was second
Yeah.
place last year. I'm going to. Oh, this is tough. So I think I'm for sure. I know he has a match coming up, but I'm gonna drop Aleister Black. I got him just for my the debut return surprise points. I know he's in my bank.
He's
Let's be
not in Money
honest.
in the Bank.
Oh, is he not? Did he lose?
Yeah, LA Knight is in Money in the Bank.
Oh, right. And they did that weird segment where he's on SmackDown. He's like, "You won, like with a little of my help." It's like, no, dude, you lost a triple threat match. I'm sure. Like, I get what
Well,
he's
no, it's
saying.
like LA Knight didn't even hit his finisher.
I know, I get what he's saying, but he
Yeah.
still won the match. It's a
Yeah.
3-way match. It's not. It'd be different if it was a 1-on-1 and Alistair interfered on his behalf. But no, that's what
Yeah.
happened. So yeah, okay, he's not Money in the Bank, and I don't think Alistair Black's gonna be like he'll be wrestling, but nothing major. I don't see any titles or anything like that. So I'm gonna drop him. And I think I'm gonna drop Randy Orton. I wanted him for the Cena thing. He's been gone. Like I don't even know how they
He is
wrote
for
him
sure on
off.
like he just lost to Cena and
But
then
like they
just
didn't do an
disappeared.
injury storyline, right? He just lost and
No.
left. It wasn't even like with KO where they at least pile drove him. It's like okay, he's gone for a couple months, but yeah, he's full on Shawn Michaels 0406 schedule where he'll work 3 months, be gone, work 3 months, be gone. So I got the points
He'll probably
there.
come back for like SummerSlam.
Yeah, or even around Rumble, maybe I'll get him or someone will. But yeah, I got my points with him. So yeah, I'm gonna drop Aleister Black. I'm gonna drop Randall Keith Orton as well. So that's those are my two drops, and that's everything. I'm pretty happy with the rest of my roster right now. So that's
Okay,
what about
and
you?
then I'm gonna drop Rusev for the same
Yeah.
reason you dropped Alistair. I just needed those 100 points.
Those Tozawa
Uh,
matches aren't getting you any more points that you want.
yeah, I'm just. Wait, I need to write down my own drops here. Okay, drop Rusev. I'm dropping Jimmy Uso. He's gotten me points, but there's other people I want
Yeah.
instead. Like honestly, Jimmy Uso, like compared to some other picks I've had in the past, honestly wasn't even that bad because he's had matches and stuff. But I just want someone different. And uh, there's
Naomi,
one more I
dropping
kind of
Naomi.
want to drop. No, no, I'm not dropping Naomi. I think the other one I was considering is Bailey, but I think I'm actually gonna end up keeping her because I feel like she's probably coming back soon.
I think so. I think you'll get a big role evolution. It's kind of got a goose egg for you for WrestleMania season. So you talk to Becky, SBub. She screwed you over for WrestleMania points. But yeah, okay. That's everybody.
Yeah, so we
Okay,
each
so we all had
dropped
two
two.
drop. Okay, so we all had two drops. So David, you're up first. Obviously, you can have any one of those drops, or you can have some new people. But David, you're up first. Who you taking as some of your replacements?
Stephanie Becker.
Stephanie Victoria. Yeah, you didn't get her in GM mode, so you're getting her here, hey? Yeah, there we
Yep.
go. Yeah. Okay, so there's two. Yeah, I had her on my list, of course. I think we all had that we all got those NXT ladies. It's just a
Yeah.
question of I just don't know. I'm stuck between two. One's a new pick and one's a legendary pick. I'm gonna go with just what I think is gonna help me in the short term. I'm gonna pick up Becky Lynch. No one has Becky Lynch, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick her up because I feel like we've talked about before. I think there is that trajectory of her, winning the title, losing it. But my hope is I can drop her before she loses said title. But even then, I think she'll beat Lyra. You know she's gonna have a big match Evolution. There's even a case she can main event Evolution. You know she's gonna be around. Doesn't wrestle on Raw as much as I'd like, but I'm kind of hoping maybe some of these bigger pay-per-views will pay off. And it seems like they put her on Backlash, they put her on Money in the Bank. It seems like with Becky Lynch, she's always getting a pay-per-view slot. So I'm gonna take the man Becky Lynch to replace one of my picks. So, what about you, S Bubs?
I think I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Julia.
Damn it! Yeah, that was the other one I was going back and forth. All right, why are you taking Julia?
I feel like she's gonna win the U.S. title soon,
Yeah,
and she's in Money in the Bank, so that's just points in general for that.
yeah, yeah. I think you're right. I think they did that showdown with Zelina, and we'll talk about it. That Zelina matchup Saturday Night Main Event was not good, and I think it's time to move on. So, David, you got one more pick.
Okay. Since I don't have my list in front of me, I may have missed it, but does anyone have Big Bronson Reed?
No.
No one does, so you can have
Then
Big
then then
Bronson
that's my
Reed.
pick.
Big Bronson Reed. Okay, there you go. Why are you picking? I know why you're picking, but just in case no one else knows, why are you picking Bronson Reed?
Because Bronson Reed's going to be the work. He's going to be one of the workhorses of that stable. He's going to be the man getting in there, getting featured in matches. I think you're going to save a lot of the Seth stuff for the bigger matches, but those weekly points, it's going to come down to him. Those trios or tag team matches, he's
Mm,
going to get thrown in there. So I need some big Bronson Reed.
yeah, no, I agree.
And he's also the one who, if they do need the faction to lose, he's going to be the one taking the loss.
Oh, absolutely. He's the pin eater or whoever will be the next guy up.
Yep.
This is tough. So I'm stuck between two people. I'm sure everyone can guess who they are. Two call ups that might be coming up. I just try to think of like I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna go with Jordan Grace. I'm gonna believe that she's getting called up. I don't know if S Bubs is gonna pick this guy or somebody else, but it was between her and Saints. With Saints, if I look at the two, and if you're asking me, hey, in a year, who do you think is gonna have the better career? They both easily could be like top mid tier or mid card people, but with Grace, I'm way more confident on. With Ricky, I like Ricky. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
We have to see what he has on the main roster and how well he can hold himself. And I think he can, but maybe someone calls him a vanilla midget like The Rock, and then he snaps again. That's all it takes. But and it depends. He could be. I've seen people theorize he could be with Punk. He could also be in Heyman's group. And if he gets in Heyman's group, though, I worry he could also be a pin eater. He could be a guy that's like gonna take a lot of oh, we don't want the big guy to lose. We don't want Braun the new star to lose. We don't want the main eventer. Ricky, you're earning your stripes here. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
enjoying Grace. I think she'll get a push. I think she'll have a lot of I think she'll wrestle a lot. I think she'll get a lot of wins. Even though in NXT she's not, I just feel like she'll like beat Ivy Nile. She'll beat Raquel Rodriguez. Like they'll give her that like the usual suspects of people that are eating pins. And even then, whether it's not the main, I could see her doing the mid card. I could see her in a tag team. So I just feel more confident on Grace, but watch fucking Ricky Saints be a mystery Money in the Bank participant, win and cash in on fucking John Cena. They strap into the rocket. But no, I'm gonna go with Jordan Grace for. So my new two picks are all on the female roster. So S Bob's your
Yeah.
final pick.
No. I
You can have
wish I
Rusev
could.
back if you want.
I wish I could drop one more now, but I don't know.
You can. I'm fine if you want to drop.
Yeah.
Because there's only like if you take Ricky from me, I'm not like I wouldn't be mad or not anybody else. I
Yeah.
think I'm
Yeah.
happy with
I'll allow it.
Okay, then I'm also gonna drop Bailey.
Oh, he went back on it. You talked yourself
Yeah,
into it.
I was
Okay.
yeah, but
Okay.
because I'm thinking like in terms of like how much she wrestles, I think yeah, I'm dropping Bailey and I'm taking CM Punk.
Oh, okay. The punker. There you go. Is he
Yeah,
winning Money in the Bank?
I don't know, but I feel like he gets PLE matches, so.
Yeah.
But then I also think he's probably gonna get like tsunamied by Bronson Reed like
I,
8 times before the
I was gonna say
Saudi
you got the
show.
Saudi show
Yeah,
coming up. Is
Yeah.
that's before you drop him, right? So but
yeah,
oh well, maybe they'll cut a promo via
yeah.
satellite
But
or
I
something.
mean, if I'm looking in like 6 months
Yeah.
time, like I feel it's a good pick. And then, so then for my last pick, I'm gonna go with Nathan Frazier.
Oh, okay. Is that a strategic pick or is that a heart pick right there as your Fraxian guy?
That's like a strategic pick because
Okay.
I don't have anyone in that like SmackDown tag team division right now
And they wrestle a lot.
to
They're
like get points.
always
Yeah,
they're the SmackDown 6 for the tag team. So
because I pretty much have someone in like every sort of division now, like
okay,
every mid card and main event scene of each show, which is
okay,
what I
there you go.
want. So yeah, those are my picks right there.
Okay, so there we go. We're all set. We got our new picks. Money in the Bank. We'll see any wins, cash-ins, etc. Okay, so obviously me and Esposito are gonna break it down long form. But David, men's Money in the Bank. You got Solo, LA Knight, Penta, Seth Rollins, Andrade, and TBD. TBD is either CM Punk, AJ Styles, or El Grande Americano. Who do you think's winning the men's Money in the Bank?
Uh, Men's Money in the Bank. So I've kind of gone back and forth on this
Mhm.
one a couple of times because I don't know, but I'm going to have to go uh, with Penta. I think
Whoa,
uh,
Penta.
I was like, they're going to give it to Seth. They're going to give it to Seth, and I'm like, Seth has already had it. They can do other stuff with Seth. So no. Yes, everyone wants LA Knight to have it, but no. Solo, hell no. Andrade, hell no. So it's down. So then it came down to TBD and Penta. I think they could have a lot of fun with Penta having it, and you don't have to cash it in on a world title.
Oh God, I don't
Also,
want that. I don't. He gets
also
Solo to
with
win, and he cashes on Jake up for the U.S. title.
no, here's my thought process. Also,
Okay.
with them acquiring AAA, he could cash it in for the Mega Championship.
I've seen people theorize that. I hate all this. I
I,
hate all these theories.
I
I'll
hate
rant
it,
more, but
but
yeah.
it's plausible.
Especially with these rumors, every scooper's now like, yeah, Triple H fucking hates Money in the Bank. It's like, oh great, here we
Yes,
go. So
I,
okay,
I, I don't like it, but it is plausible.
okay, women's Money in the Bank. You got Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, Julia, Naomi, and TBD. Have they announced it's Ivy Nile,
It's
Stephanie,
I mean
and
Stephanie McCarron, Liv
and Liv,
Morgan.
right? Yeah, okay. So I think we all assume it's gonna be Liv because Stephanie's on the Worlds Collide, and unless Ivy's getting the big push, which I don't think is happening,
Yeah.
so I'll say it's Liv Morgan. Who do you think's taking it for the women?
I think the same. It's your only two options here are Liv or Rhea, but I think they're going to go with Liv.
Really, she's gonna be a two-time Money in the Banker. You said Seth wouldn't win it because that's a two-time, but Liv can win it because she like that's two-time.
Yeah, but they love Liv with that. Like
Okay.
there's nothing really you can do at Seth new with Rhea. You can have that dominating force of the and her way of just going that I'm coming for you and the way that she talks and everything else. It would work for her. It would just be annoying with Seth. So I could see them doing it with Rhea just for the viewership, just for the eyes. Everyone loves mommy,
Mm.
but I
That
think it's going
custom
to be Liv.
briefcase too. That they want that Rhea Ripley custom briefcase. You know that'll
Oh
sell a lot
yeah,
of merch there, like the Strand one. Okay, you got Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso versus John Cena and Logan Paul. Who you got?
Wait, so was your prediction Liv or Rhea?
Liv.
Liv.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I said it
Tag
could
team.
come down to those. Those are the only two options in here that I definitively see. Roxanne Perez, no. Julie, I think she's going to have some standout moments,
Hmm.
but no. Naomi, hell no. Alexa Bliss, if they're
Why is Naomi a hell no? I feel like she's like
Naomi's
the
like the
shitty
one I
heel
feel
that
like's
would
gonna
cash
win,
in,
yeah.
right? She's the sneaky heel right now, and that's how she
yes, and
wins.
she's playing a role, but she's not playing a top of the women's card role. Like
Okay.
she's upper of the women's card, but she's not there.
You got some
Um,
hot Money in the Bank takes here, because I'm with S Bubs. I'm like spoil my prediction. I'm with
Yeah.
Naomi pretty much almost all the way,
yeah,
but yeah,
Alexa Bliss. I don't know what they're doing with
no.
her and the Wyatts, so that one's up there. But yeah, so it's got to come down to Liv. I think Liv, with where she's at with the Judgment Day, reestablishing her as the leader and things like that. I think that just makes more sense.
Okay, the tag match: Rhodes and Uso, Cena and Paul. I think we know where that's going.
Uh, this one I'm iffy about, but I'm gonna go Cody and Jay.
Okay, okay, and then we don't have a fifth match as of right now, and then the fourth match: Lyra versus Becky. Who you got?
Becky.
If Lynch, I miss this stipulation. If Lyra loses, she'll be forced to raise Lynch's hand and acknowledge like Lynch is a better woman. That's such a weird like.
No.
I,
I think that's like a Chris Jericho stipulation. I'm pretty sure. Like he
I
did that
swear,
once.
I
Yeah.
swear, some of the choices the last few months. If Vince was back there, I would not be surprised. That's such a weird. Like she's losing the title. Why does she need to raise her hand? But whatever. Okay,
I mean,
David.
But to S
unless
Bubs
like
is
Bailey interferes and then Becky
Yes,
can't
yeah.
challenge for the title again.
yes,
To
that's
S,
that
Because
one
it's
I'm fine
only if
with.
yeah.
Yeah, the
yeah.
hand raise one's super weird. Like if I win, you must
Well,
raise.
it's because when Becky lost to Lyra in NXT,
I
she
know
raised
she
her
did
hand.
it,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
point. Yeah. All right,
But no,
David. Oh,
to
go ahead.
S Bub's point about that, that does sound like a Chris Jericho, you
Yeah, I
have to
think
pay me
he's
for a
done that.
jacket type
Yeah.
stipulation. He's done stupid things like that.
Yeah. David, what were your quick elevator reviews on Double or Nothing? What were your thoughts on Double or Nothing?
Double or Nothing had some insane matches, some just straight up insane matches. Like this was probably by far one of my more favorite Anarchy in the Arena matches. Just some of the stuff they did with that, I absolutely loved it. I really was happy that I think Willow got some shine in that match. I mean, she's great as the bubbly person, but then you also got to see a different side of her. Only match that really didn't do anything for me was probably the trios match.
Yeah, that should have been off the
It was,
card.
yeah, it was just there. But Hangman and Osprey freaking delivered. Ricochet and Mark Briscoe was pretty dope. FTR Daniel Garcia versus Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness went a little bit long. Mercedes Moné and Jamie Hayter was good, and the tag team match, while predictable ending, was still good. And Okada is Okada. Same thing with Timeless Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. Like I love everything that Timeless Tony Storm does, and Mina has that duality of just being she can brawl and then she's got the funny comedic side. So
Hmm.
like I loved all of that.
Okay, Saturday night's main event.
Saturday's night's main event. Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker defeating CM Punk and Sami Zayn. Like I figured that that's where they were going to go with this. They just started this stable, so of course they had to win. Um, and then having that moment of it being because of the interference, I think worked for that match with making everyone look stronger. Selena Vega versus Chelsea Green. I actually love both of these women for
Oh, I,
separately.
I thought a major hot take was coming there when you're like,
No,
I actually love this man. I was like, oh my god, David
I
in Mexico is a whole different person.
I love both of these women's. I really root for Selena Vega. I do, but this match was not it and exposed that she probably needs to drop the championship. She can do some things. She's got a great character. Like she's so great to root for. I loved everything they did with her in the championship and her family afterwards, taking it to her dad's memorial, everything else. But this match just wasn't it. Um, Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre in the steel cage was just an absolute banger. But these guys have great chemistry together, so that was good. Jay Uso, Logan Paul. I was so glad Logan Paul did not win. I'm like, please do not let this be the deal. You don't need this. No one needs this. There's no multiverse where this is acceptable. So I'm glad it didn't go down like that. And I am loving the fact that Jay Uso is incorporating people from the crowd with his interest because watching the
Mhm.
kids doing everything else, that's just fun. More
Yeah.
reason why I love Jay Uso. People can say he's a character more than he is a wrestler, but I'll take it because sometimes that's what you need. And then
It's
John Cena versus. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it's funny on the prediction show. You guys were debating what was gonna go last, and SWeb said, "Well, it'll be Jay and Paul because they've been building up," and you said it was Cena because they'd set up the last like the newest opponent. It's pretty much the like this like you guys were both right. They just did it differently. Where like Cena
Yeah, they
wrestled
did.
earlier,
Yeah.
but then he did the whole Jay like, "Oh, I'll see you. Maybe I'll be keeping an eye on you." It's like literally what you guys both pitched happened at the same time. So I was watching like, okay, that's how we got there. It's kind of funny because you guys both had sound reasoning. I'm like, oh yeah, like. I don't know what would mean because those are good at, especially if Cody's coming back. He's not coming back in like 45-minute mark. So it was funny when I was watching after I listened, like, oh, they're just both right, but they just WWE screwed and cheated them by being like, oh no, we're gonna have Cena come back later. But yeah, Cena and Truth, sadly no longer
Yeah.
with the company. I was gonna say with us. It's not we're not that level. Don't worry. But
Yeah. Breaking news if you hadn't heard before, our Truth is no longer with the company as of a couple hours ago. But yeah, John Cena versus our Truth. Predictable. I'm glad that our Truth. First of all, the Ron Cena shirt, the coming out with the entrance music,
mhm.
everything was just because at first John Cena did his intro, then he stops and says, "Hey, redo my intro." And then when the music started again, I thought that was just production replaying his music for a little bit. But then to have our Truth come out with the Ron Cena shirt on, doing the full on throw the towel up, everything else, having him do the 5 moves of doom, having him hit in AA. I was like, this is great. If he's going to lose, if John Cena is going to turn it on and just take him out, then at least let him get these moments. And I'm glad that we got that predictable match ending, but it was still fun, and I enjoy it.
Okay, and then Battleground, and then you're out of here.
All right, Battleground. Josh Briggs, Hank, and Tank doing their thing versus the Culling was like cool. I'm not that invested in the Culling like at
That's what I
all.
keep hearing from everybody, even those NXT diehards. Like the calling's just like the most they're there type of
Yeah.
group, you know.
Uh, Stacks versus Tony D'Angelo. Figured Stacks is going to win. It was Luca Cristofino kind of having that moment in there, like, where does the family go from here? I thought this was going to be the end of the family, but hey, we're continuing this storyline. Um, Stephanie Vacour versus Jordan Grace. In the moment, I thought, okay, cool, keep Stephanie as champion. You're going to keep building her up. In retrospect, I'm like, why did you have her win just for what happened afterwards to happen on just regular NXT TV? But the match itself, it was a good match. Obafemi versus Miles Bourne. Predictable, but still good. Uh, Trick Williams versus Joe Hendry. God damn it, Joe. Yes. But the final shot of the TNA president looking so dejected as Trick Williams is doing air guitar, as people are chanting "Whoop that trick," that was that was hilarious, and um, that was almost my background for this episode was the picture of the dejected TNA president. But so that's my thought on that. Overall, it was a good show. Did not expect Joe to lose, but hey, it sets up for Santana to win the TNA championship, and I like Santana. I like his comeback story and everything he's been through. So kudos to him.
There we go. Well, David, we will see you next weekend for Money in the Bank after that show. Thanks for joining us for the beginning and the draft, and go enjoy the rest of your vacation, sir.
All right, I will talk to you guys later.
All right, see you, man.
See
Bye.
ya.
Okay, so let's get back to Money in the Bank.
Just then when
Penta.
David was talking, sometimes like when he's moving his hands, sometimes like he sounds like exactly like Maven.
He yeah, he does a little bit. Yeah, he's got the Maven vibe going on. So,
I
man,
will
so
not accept that slander. I will not.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
he's a good speaker. Yeah,
I
man.
listen to Maven all day. I love
Now I
Maven.
got to
Yeah,
sneak into AEW.
yeah,
I'm going to leave here now, go sit on the beach, and plot how I can sneak into AEW. I'll
exactly. You do
talk to
that
you guys
too.
later.
See ya. That Maven clip going around this week.
That's
Of
the ad read
the
one.
the guy walked to me, put a gun in his hand, and said, "I did it just because I could," and that's when I knew I need security. That was crazy. That was wild. Like I was not prepared for that, but. Yeah, so yeah, we'll talk about those shows too. We might talk about them kind of intertwined with some of the stuff here, but we'll go back to Money in the Bank for Soul Elevate, Penta, Seth Rollins, and Andrade versus TBD. David with I didn't want to keep him because I know he's on vacation. Penta,
Yeah.
wild pick. Like, don't get me wrong, I would love that. I'm always down for some wild Money in the Bank winners. Even Rumble. Sometimes, obviously, you can see the reaction, right? Like when Jay won. To me, Jay's a wild Rumble winner, but some people were for that. Like I think most of us were, and some people were like, "This is terrible. It should be the most obvious." Like I think there's pros and cons, but if it was Penta, that'd be great. I will clarify. We've been doing this for a year, so I'm sure I've said this before. I do not like Money in the Bank being cashed in on anything but the world title. I don't even want the NXT title. It's world or WWE. I think it's just like I get it because David's right. There's been tons of people theorizing about even if it's Grande, like, and he's on the Worlds Collide, so he won't be there. But still, just the idea of the AAA, or yeah, like my joke of Solo cashing on Jacob, like off. Like I'm not a fan of that to me. And again, I never knew this. It seems like it's common knowledge. Lots of speak on the timeline that Triple H is not a big fan of the Money Bank, which is like I don't know like why. It's like a
I
pop. It's
saw
easy
someone point out
moment.
that like he's never been in any of the ladder
Yes.
matches. He's never been cashed in on,
He's never been a part of it
and
at all. It
yeah,
never been, which is funny in the opposite. Obviously, it's not that case now. But if you look at like the first 5 or 6 cash-ins, Edge was either cashing in or he was a part of it one way or another. Like he got cashed
I
in.
think Charlotte has been cashed in on like 6 times or something
Jeez
like that.
Louise.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I don't know. I think that's why to me, I don't think they should ever kill it if he's not a fan because I think people like the concept and I think it's like a big show. Like I could say when people talked about the
Yeah,
big
that's the
four.
reason why they're never gonna, or at least not for a long time, take it away is because the show itself is now like a big show.
Yeah, like to me, when people back in the day, when it was the big four, like Mania, Rumble, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, Survivor Series went down and it was replaced by Money in the Bank. I think Triple H is a big fan of Survivor Series and the War Games and all that stuff. But to me, that's why it's like a big five. But that's why for me with the men's, I think it's Seth because like not David, I guess, but you and me talked. I thought it was always going to be someone from this group. I thought it was going to be Braun, and I thought my whole layout was okay. Seth's going to win the title. Sammy's gonna win Rumble. Sammy beats Seth at Mania, and then Braun cashes in at Sammy at some point, and you kind of get that tension of Seth, like, oh, like I was supposed to beat Sammy, whatnot. I don't know. I could now see because some people speculate maybe Braun and Seth at Mania. I don't know, but I think Triple H is gonna view this as like a just like a big number one contendership match. And even like I said to you though in the Discord, if Seth wins, there's been no male that's won the ladder match twice other than Punk. Like Edge won the briefcase, but not the ladder match. So I think that's like a good thing for that feud for Seth Rollins to be like, oh, I've also done that. Like you've done that,
Mhm.
I've done that, I'm better than you. And yeah, I agree with everybody that I think
So
it's
do
the
you
June.
think Punk is in this match?
I do. I do
Yeah.
because I just Grande's not, and I just think it's you want Punk on the pay per view. Maybe unless Punk's really like, hey brother, I don't want to work a ladder match.
He
Like
does the
unless
he does the ladder match like Randy Orton or Alexa Bliss where they
yeah,
take no bumps.
yeah. So for me, it's I think he's in there. Plus, you get more Seth Punk interaction. If he's not, like AJ's a good pick. If he's not in the match, that's my only worry for Seth actually not winning because I could see Punk screwing him out of it. So I really don't know, but I'm picking Seth. Solo, no. Andrade, no. Like good, he's in there. If AJ was in there, no. LA Knight, there's like always a chance, but it's just
Yeah,
I
LA
think
Knight's one of those where it's like they could just give it to him and figure it out later.
yes. You got a whole year. It's just one of those like we've talked about. It seems like the world title is going to be eventually Jay and Seth for a while, and then the WWE title is going to be Cena, Cody for a while, and then whoever Cody versus Mania. It's just like I don't see a time for LA Knight to cash
Yeah, it's like
in
you
right
just have
now.
like Cody and Punk at Mania, and then what LA Knight is gonna cash in on them at the
Triple
end.
threat. He's
Like,
going to
yeah,
run in the megastar. But yeah, I don't see an opportunity. But it could also be like we don't know the situation. When Drew won last year, it was like that where it's like, oh, this doesn't fit. But then he cashed in, Punk interfered and lost. If one of them are planned to lose, then of course anybody could win, right? Like if LA Knight, if that sets up his next feud, he goes to cash in, and for some reason, I don't know, fucking Jacob Fatu attack. Like I don't want
Austin
that.
Theory attacks him. Yeah,
Yeah, like to me, lots of people are mad about the Drew stuff. I was fine with the Drew cash in last year. They made it work for a story beat, but yeah, I'm going Seth Rollins. They cash in, and I think he's going to do it exactly like Mania, where it's going to be Jay and Gunther in a triple threat, and that way you can kind of again. I always say like, when people lose in a triple threat, it's not as bad as a one on one, so you can kind of protect Gunther, protect
I
Jay a
feel
little bit.
like Seth and his crew are gonna come out at the end of Money in the Bank, like after the tag match, and like pretty much
Oh,
say like to like pump viewers up for Raw. Like he's
Jay
gonna
Uso, we
like at
coming
the
for
like
you.
he's gonna come out at the ramp like with his crew and like be holding the briefcase, and then like the credits roll. So I feel like
Yeah.
he won't like do a cash in or like try and do one at the end of Money in the Bank, but it'll like tease that like on Monday he's gonna cash in.
Hmm. And like we talked about in our Discord, which yeah, you can join the G Discord wrestling. We're always throwing theories and whatnot. If you make it a triple threat, no DQ. So I think that's a perfect time. Like you can just literally have Seth, Braun, and Bronson. I hate that. I was gonna say Breaker and Reed, but you can literally just have them come in there and just beat up Jay and Gunther after a match, and then like Seth get easy win. Like that's how you can save Gunther, because I was like, Gunther can't lose to Jay again, can he? And that's where it's like,
He's taking a spear from Goldberg at the on the outside.
well, yeah,
Just
and
when
that could
it's no
happen too.
DQ,
Like
yeah.
that's the thing where there's so much stuff that can happen. They can just make it a big cluster. So I'm going Rollins, even though I would actually love David's pick because I feel like,
Yeah.
man, they are all in on Penta right now. Because and I don't, unless it is AAA stuff. Like if it's that, then I'm not excited. That would get me. That would kill my hype. But I'm gonna say Seth Rollins. You're on Rollins as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah, Penta definitely would be a wild pick, but I'd be down for that. If they did if they announced like a Mexico show or something, he does
Yeah.
like a announce cash in there for a title
Oh, I
match.
love
But
that.
I
Yeah.
do feel like yeah, I don't think Penta's winning, but I feel like at some point soon he has to get like a world title shot. Like I feel like that could even be like I don't know, what's a show that I don't know if they do it as soon as like Night of Champions, but I feel like some
Yeah.
sort of show like that, like he has to get a world title shot at some point.
That or it's longer. Like it's I guess it's too long. You need some sort of gimmick like the Chamber, where you could do a multi-man defense, right? Like if there's a fatal four way, like
Yeah,
what they're doing in AEW right now, where it's Kenny and they just had a bunch of number one contenders. Like, hey, you're fighting these three guys, which is like kayfabe wise incredibly unfair, especially Kenny Omega and Diverticular Lights be like, hey, you're gonna not defend against one. Like here's three random guys. It's like what? Like, and that's where yeah, I feel like Seth's a good option to wait for. So maybe that could happen at like a Night of Champions where it's like a four way. I don't know if he'll get a one on one unless, like you said, it's a Mexico show. I could see like a four way where it's like Penta. Who else is like a mid Carter popular on Raw right now? I don't think Sammy. I think they'd keep him away. You gotta have Jay get a rematch in there. You could
yeah,
even have good. You could have Sheamus in there, maybe something like that. But
yeah,
yeah. All right, so we're both going Seth. The women's, yeah, Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, Julia, Naomi, and then we are assuming Liv Morgan. And for me, this one's actually pretty unpredictable because I think that I disagree with David again. I don't think Liv would get it again. If that's the
yeah.
case,
Also,
then
the thing with Triple H Money in the Banks as well is like he doesn't want to deal with two people having them for
yes,
a long time. So I feel like if someone cashes in quickly, the other person holds it for a long time. Like Drew cashed in immediately and Tiffany held it for a long time.
yeah, which I'm
Io and
fine with.
Damien like both had it, but Io cashed in at SummerSlam, so not even that long. Honestly, Damien held it until Mania.
Yeah. And it's tough with
And
that era too, because that was a lot of back and forth when like Triple H was there, but then Vince came back for a little bit, was doing great. Like it's kind of like what would he have done completely at
yeah,
that
I
point?
think that
But
was after sort of Vince was already
was it after that
kind of
the last
yeah.
I was saying? Okay, I couldn't remember because it was a weird. Because I know 39 he crept back in and he was back for
Yeah,
like
no,
3 to 4
this was
months.
after. No,
Oh yeah,
before
I
that
guess
was
it
when
was.
because Vince had Theory win Money in the Bank the year before.
Yeah,
That's why.
and then Triple H
And
had
then
him
he
cash in on
just
the
buried
U.S.
him with
title,
the yeah,
and lost. Not even
yeah,
won, it lost. That killed him. But yeah, for me, like I could make a case for Naomi winning. I could make a case
I think
for
whenever I think Bianca beats Tiffany and Naomi cashes in whenever that is.
oh, that would be good. Yeah, I could see that. Because to me, if you're doing another person holding on to it for a while, that is Naomi. And I do think there's a chance if you get like the wild undercard pick, I think there's a chance Roxanne could win it. They gave her that Rumble record. They did not have to. She wasn't even on the main roster. They had no WrestleMania match. It's not like, oh, they gave her the record and she went on to have a big WrestleMania match. No, they're just like, yeah,
I don't know if she
NXT.
would she be the youngest money because I know Theory is the youngest Money in the Bank winner. I don't know how old he was when he won it. He must have
I
been
think she
maybe like the
would.
same age
At least for the
around there.
female side, she
Yeah, for
definitely would
female
be.
definitely,
Yeah.
but I mean in general, because
Yeah.
Theory was probably like the same age around there. I feel like.
Pickens says, "Let Penta win the tag titles versus the U.S. in the near future." Tag titles is a given. Whenever they put Phoenix and him together,
Yeah,
that to me, I can't wait when you get the Lucha Bros, and then you get Fraxium. That's going to be some great stuff. So, first and only wrestler to be at three-time Money in the Bank
yeah,
winner, Seth
she
would be hella mad.
yeah. I'd say Roxanne would be younger than she would be 23, and Theory was 24 when he won it.
Okay, so like I said, I think she's a sneak pick. She's somebody of like, if they're not sure, she's a perfect person to put on because I don't think she should lose. But it's one of these situations where she could lose early enough
And
in her
like
career.
the
She's
people who
fine,
hold
but
Money in the Bank for a while too always lose like every match
yeah.
until they win
And
the
she's already
title.
losing a lot right now. Like that's the thing where she's losing a lot of the big matches, which is fine because they're good performances. But and then there to me is also Rhea Ripley because Rhea Ripley, that could be a sign if Triple H really does want to get rid of Money in the Bank, where Seth cashes in like a week from now, and then Rhea does the Evolution cash in because we talked about this again in Discord where I love the babyface going up to the whatever the champion saying, hey, this date it's you and me, get ready. We've only gone that twice. We got that with Cena. We got the RVD. You did remind me about Big E, but at least that was the same night.
Yeah.
I love the hey, you got a month, get ready. And Rhea, to me, that would actually fit the EO rematch of she's trying to get a match with EO and to win it and not to cash in on her cheaply and cheat to say, hey, you got till July and I'm going to beat you and then EO can prepare. And I think there'd be like a big feel. And like I said, I didn't think about that till we were memeing on it, but the Rhea Ripley briefcase would sell. Like that would actually make a lot of money. So I'm really torn on all these. My ranking right now is I think I got Naomi 1, Rhea at 2, and Roxanne, but I think I've talked myself out of it because that briefcase merch, I'm gonna flip it and I think
But
Rhea's gonna win.
you're gonna have the glow briefcase though.
No, it'll be
The
that
LED
bad caution tape
briefcase.
one that remember
Oh
the
yeah,
fake
yeah.
one, yeah. But I'm gonna say it's gonna be Rhea Ripley, and the internet is gonna react the same way they did at the Rumble, where they're like, oh, Seth and Rhea, the two worst winners because they're established stars. But I'm gonna say Rhea. I'm gonna say just purely because I want to sell the briefcase, and TKO's like, hey, we can make a lot of money off those purple briefcases that say mommy on and mommy in the bank. Like it's all there. Like it's all, like but Naomi's I want
No,
Naomi to
I'm
win.
sticking with my Naomi
Okay.
pick just because I've been saying it for like so long at this point that
And
I'm gonna
I
stick
want her
with
to
it.
win. Don't get me wrong, because I think that's the perfect character, and I think your pitch of Bianca getting the title and then getting cashed in right away is like it to me. Naomi, and even Roxanne works. David's right. Bliss isn't. I don't know. They don't even know what to do with Alexa Bliss. Like this whole thing with her palling with Charlotte. Like I've complained about already. It's like Alexa Bliss is getting organic, huge babyface pops, and you want the person who has like semi go away heat to be like, like it's weird. And Julia too early. You never know. Maybe there's that meme about we've been talking about Triple H like she has a major backing, and everyone's like, well, no, duh. But hey, maybe Triple H is like, yeah, I fucking love Julia. We're briefcase right now. There is a case for everybody to win, but Alexa Bliss to me. Even Liv Morgan, I would rank above Bliss for winning, just because for some reason maybe they do something. I don't know, but okay. So you're Naomi, I'm Rhea, and then David was who was David again?
He went with Liv,
He
but
right,
he was that's why I was
right?
confused because he said Liv, but then he talked for like 5 minutes about why Rhea would make sense to win, and that's why I asked
Because
at
that
the very end
briefcase,
who he finally picked. Yeah,
Yeah.
but and
All
also
right.
there I feel like there's probably gonna be another match added to this show because I've
Mm-hmm.
seen like the other like Triple H Money in the Bank shows have been 5 matches, so I'm wondering like what this fifth match is like. I don't
Nothing with
know.
Tiffy because she's kind of just hanging around right now. Let's see who. Why am I forgetting who the mid? So Jacob Fatu, no, he could even be involved with Solo doing something.
I think Ibu
Um,
said that soon they'll do an Andrade Jacob Fatu match, but
nice.
I don't obviously not at this show because Andrade's
No,
in the ladder
Andrade working
match.
double duty. Hey, you got Money in the Bank. You're also working Jacob in a 3 stages from hell
Yeah,
United States title match. Why am I forgetting who the IC? Oh,
Dom.
Dom. Yeah,
I
Dom's
mean,
always
maybe
an
if he like
easy.
costs like AJ Styles and they just do
Yes,
the IC title match at Money in the
Dom's an
Bank.
easy person always to throw on the card, right? But so I don't think that
I mean,
Selena,
I
no,
could
because I
see that
think.
one. They did Penta and Dom on Backlash with just like
Mhm.
we just need another match on the card
Oh,
and they just
absolutely,
put that
yeah.
on there, yeah.
I'm gonna say no, but they could easily just say, "Yep, get Dom. He gets heat. There's
And I
things
feel
there."
like the Balor like all of it all. Like when is this Balor the Balor? Well, it's not the Balor face turn anymore. It's more the
I don't know
Dominic
what
face
it
turn.
is. I really don't know
Yeah.
what it is because like people still like I I don't think it's weird. Like I don't think Balor's like getting booed per se because when they do the teases, sometimes when Balor like looks at it, like they still kind of cheer for Balor, not as much as Dom, but it's kind of weird. I think it's just I don't know. I think again, all you got to do is throw that face paint on Finn, and they'll get him. I think that's the SummerSlam match, in my opinion. I think Finn and Dom.
Yeah.
That's what we're going towards.
But
You
I'm
can
wondering
always throw
like
the
when
men's
the like
tag.
big turn happens there. I
Yeah, I
feel
guess yeah,
like
or the big turn. Yeah,
because I feel like that could be like a Night of Champions thing. Like
true.
if you do Dom, let's say Dom and AJ sounds like that's a Saudi match right there. I feel like you could get the Finn turn there. You know, he helps AJ win, I guess.
Yeah,
You just put the IC title on AJ. I mean, they've been kind of trying to make AJ, so it's like they're trying to make him like a mid card guy now. So I
they
feel like they
are.
could just put the IC title on him.
He's feuding with Chad right now. Like, again, maybe this is the good portion to talk about it. I don't know AJ's status. Both, I think SRS and Dave said like, hey, I think the working theory is he's staying in WWE. Everything he's said to me has made it sound like he's staying in WWE. That's when we always talk about people that are fit. I want him to go. I want him to go to the dub. I want him to go do Bullet Club lore with Kenny, with Jay White,
You
with
trade him for Jamie
Osprey.
Hayter.
Absolutely trade him for Jamie Hayter, you know, and that same thing. That's where it's like that's where when it's a good thing of being a fan of both companies. I want Hayter to go WWE and May, who you know Mariah May's. We don't know when because people were like, "Oh, she's starting really soon," and Sap was like, "Nah, she's still under contract for a while. It doesn't matter when." To me, May is like a perfect fit for WWE, not because like the dream job post or whatnot, but just she can do what she did in AEW. But I said before, like that they designed that story with her and be an ender, and you could do stuff with her otherwise, but I just worry she would fall somewhere in the card. Where someone like now Willow, when she re-signed right away, to me, Willow, there's still tons of stuff for her to do in AEW, and I feel like this new style she's got, she's becoming like a weird hardcore wrestler. It's like that fits a lot in AEW. Like she did this stuff with Stat, she did this stuff in the Anarchy. We'll talk about with the fucking earlobe and the lock. It's like she has this like kind of like badass feel going on where I think WWE they'd be like, oh, do like the happy stuff right now, and that's where it's AJ and Dub and Willow, that'd be perfect. Hayter needs to go, Mariah May. So that's, I think it's also at different stages because maybe in 3 years from now, Willow should go to WWE. I will get there, but my prediction is I think Monet's like when she loses the big strap, it's gonna be to Willow. I think they're gonna make Willow the ace of that company, right? And that's where for God, who are we talking about here? Oh, AJ. It's
Yeah.
just I get if he that's the thing. If he wants to maybe be a trainer and do that stuff, then it is the better choice. It is just yeah, it just
He
feels like
was a
he's kind of
guest judge on LFG this
of
season for an
course he can be a
episode.
host of future. It just feels like he's been floundering because they did like the Braun Breaker stuff and that didn't go anywhere. They did the Judgment Day stuff, but that's never been like a main focus. And now he's fighting with Chad. He's just all over the place. So I don't know. It's strange. So I'm hoping he the devil on his shoulders, like, yeah, go get that TK money, you know, like again, the Bullet Club lore, there's some there's and can't like even with the Bucks, the last thing they did together was Bucks and Omega beating the shit out of AJ in New Japan and sending him to WWE. Like there's some history there and like I just don't know what there is for AJ to do other than he's the pin guy, and I don't know why he's gonna work with Karen. Same thing, Karen Cross, right? That's another angle they were kind of teasing for a while, and now it's Karen Cross just interacting with Sammy, which it's
I mean,
funny.
he like yeah he beat Cross and then
Yeah,
he like showed up at Mania and then
right.
that
He
was
showed
kind of
on
it.
me, and you would think that would be like that's gonna lead to another one-on-one like grudge match or something, but that angle's like gone. It's like it's out of there, and that's where it's funny because this is where I always say like the film community, wrestling community. When we talk about Jey Uso, it's such a bubble. I did not ever think of Karen Cross once until I logged in my timeline. Literally, because I had wrestling on and we were doing After Nine. I saw in the corner, like, wow. I was just more confused, like, wow, CM Punk is in Money in the Bank qualifier. But it
Yeah.
was like Punk, AJ, and Gable. And then we were doing After Nine. I didn't go on my phone till like either, yeah, like late night, like midnight, because I was playing some games with Taylor. And then when I saw people were like, oh, it wasn't Cross, or like the memes of people wanting to be Cross, it was like, I never even for a second thought Karen Cross was getting that spot. It was just like, that's where it just shows the online bubble, which again, he is getting pops, don't get me wrong, but I was like, Karen Cross? That's what people are concerned about here. Oh, okay. So maybe AJ will get in and he'll go to get the briefcase and Cross will screw him over. And there's another big SummerSlam match. So, okay. Cody J versus Cena Paul. I'm gonna let you go first. What do you think about this match? What do you think? Because obviously, I think that's a big debate right now about the Cena heel turn and the route it's going. And now Cody's back. Same thing we talked about. When is he coming back? You guys talked about this possibility. So lots of big things are happening right now. What is the trajectory for John Cena next little bit? How you feeling about this setup? Yeah. So the tag match. How you feeling?
I feel like they're trying to put him with Logan Paul to like Logan Paul needs to put over Cena in terms of being a heel.
Yeah.
Like they want him to get booed again. And honestly, if they're fighting like Jay and Cody, like same reason for putting them together. It's like you want just like the most cheers and the most boos in a tag match there.
That's where I worried that they were worried about Cody because the fact they put him with Jay, like, well, they'll for sure, and it was fine
Yeah,
because
I mean,
luckily,
then they put Bianca Belair's return like in her hometown with the whole
yes,
playing the music and everything.
and luckily because I watched it after 9, but the segment Cody did, luckily, all cheers, all good, even when Cena count boost. So it just feels like maybe that was like we'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens in the rematch. I feel like a lot of it's Cena, and also people just
Especially if
want to
they
see
do it
17
in
happen.
yeah.
Yeah, and plus I think there is people now that are like, like now I'm over the Cena stuff. You know, even if they don't hate it, I think people are like, it was fun at the start, but now people are like, yeah, just let Cody have it back and let's have Cena be a good guy. But how do you think this match goes down?
I mean, I assume probably with like Cody pinning Cena to set up another match.
That scares me.
But and then like I feel like you could even have like because they already like teased like Cena and Paul like not getting along. I feel
Yeah.
like that could be a set like the Saudi match for Night of Champions. Like you just have Logan Paul like
Oh
turn
my
on him
God, that's
already.
Bubs. That if there's a Saudi match with John Cena and Logan Paul, like as the talent, this is me go watch.
They are going out of their way to fuck me.
That is DEFCON 5 right there. I think I'm more finding that after if Cena loses the title and it's like the babyface run, but like it's not out of the realm of possibility. That's oh my God, Cena and Paul, heel versus heel title in Saudi. That's something. Where are you on the Cena heel turn? Are you down for him to do this? Obviously, he's not going to do it the whole time, but are you down to see this for a few more months? Are you kind of like myself, which I'll talk about in some others, where I'm kind of in this camp where, okay, I kind of just want him to drop it to Cody and turn and just kind of go back. I actually want the nostalgia era now because I don't think I'm with some people that's been all time bad, but I think it's definitely been disappointing than what we thought when it first started the first few months. But where are you on the heel turn? How
Yeah,
much
I
longer are
sort
you
of
on it?
agree there. Like, I think like either way is probably like I think even when he won, we were probably predicting like he was gonna lose it at SummerSlam or
Yeah.
around that time. So
I
I
guess other
think
people have brought up the Saturday Night's Main in Atlanta too, because that's in
yeah,
Cody's
I think that's
hometown.
also a possible option, especially with it going against All In, like not exactly head to head, or I don't know, because All In is starting pretty early, I think.
They did it on purpose
Yeah.
because they want to avoid. I think it's at like
It
12
starts
in
at
the
like 2,
afternoon.
yeah, something
Yeah,
like that. Well, I
yeah,
mean, with All In, who knows? Like maybe by the time the Saturday Night's main event starts, they're still on. You
yeah.
start with Cody and Cena, just as like Hangman and Mox is starting right as Cody's coming out to start the show or something. I don't know.
God, and who did we think? Oh, right, we joked that Mariah May would win the title that day on
Yeah.
NXT. Watch, they'll actually give Punk the Money in the Bank, and he'll cash it. Sorry, maybe like it's just a full in AW alumni class. But yeah, no, yeah. So for me, it's been an interesting road. I love the actual heel turn. You know, Sans Travis Scott. I was like fine. All the promos he did. The You People promo was a little late, but I thought they're all good. I liked them all. Like we talked about the WrestleMania. I think like other people, and we've talked about it after the fact. I was just confused why there was no Rock talk, and then I guess the Rock talk, but like, well, I didn't want to be in that story anymore because they didn't need me, which is like, all right, man. I wasn't on last episode, but that whole because the whole fucking thing he did on Pat McAfee, mind blowing to me. Just the ego this man has, big man. They're blaming me. I better get on there and say something. Like I cannot. I would just love to be a fly on the wall, but that's where it's like I can't. I'm not fully blaming him because I did not like the Truth Randy finish with our Truth, or sorry, the Truth in sorry God. There's so many. The Orton Cena
Truth,
finish
Randy
with
finish with
Truth.
Truth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't think we needed that. You could have got just Truth and Cena easy in a backstage segment of Truth just being like, "Why are you doing that, man? You're my hero," and then Cena fucks him up, which they did at the press conference. Like you didn't need him there. So that's like, I don't think The Rock made the call to be like, hey, you should make sure Ron Killings is interfering there. So I think it's like this weird combo of both. And Truth and Cena at the main event, like, it is what it is, but it's just like, after everything that's happened, I didn't need it. So I am at the point where, yeah, it's been a little disappointing and lackluster. I don't bang on him as much, but I agree that that promo he gave backstage to Jay was really weird. Like, it was
Like
odd.
robot Cena, yeah.
It was odd because he hasn't done that before. Like, he's just been like Cena but mad. But that was like, well, I'm gonna be bad now. It's like, I don't know if he's doing that on purpose to be there. Maybe he and the team feel like you're still getting cheered too much, so just make yourself lame. I don't know. Obviously, not a fan of Logan Paul, so I don't need this tag team. And again, it's not even that. It's not even. I don't think there's anybody you could partner Cena with that I would be happy. They keep talking about all these dates he has left. I don't really want Cena in just a random kind of house show tag team match. You know, like the R-Truth Cena match has more, to me, allure. I get why they did that versus this. Like, I would much rather them just do another defense. I know everyone's like, oh, the Punk layup. I agree. I do want Cena and Punk, but I don't. If they do it when Cena's a babyface, I think they miss the boat a little because the story's there, and they've missed the story a couple times in this story, in this, like, this whole Cena arc where he's doing the CM Punk thing. He's doing the, oh, I'm going to leave with the title. And that's what CM Punk did, 12, 15 years ago. So you could flip it. If it's good guy Cena and CM Punk Cena, I just don't, I don't understand why. And even if it's not him, like, I just think there's other people on the roster. If you're to give me a little bit, like, hey, who could he be facing? So that's why I am on the, I want him to lose to Cody pretty much as soon as possible and just get back to the nostalgia. And even if it's just Punk and Cena and nostalgia, sure. I think the heel turn, it was a great moment, but I don't think the follow-up is exactly what we were hoping for. And the Logan Paul stuff, just kind of muddy stuff. Even this Jey Uso thing of like, oh, wouldn't it be terrible if you lost and to a YouTuber and I left with the title? Like, it's just like, why does Cena care? I guess he's trying to ruin wrestling, but it's just like, why does this man really care if Jay? Why does he give a fuck if Jey Uso's losing the world title? Like, why does it matter? His whole point was, I'm ruining wrestling because I'm taking the main title. But yeah, I think Cody and Jay win here. I hope it's not a situation where Cody pins him, and then that sets up that, like, he's not gonna actually beat Cena. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I think they got to take the strap off him. I think a lot of people are way more mad about it than I am, and I think there's a lot of people that have been disillusioned by this story. As I've said before, after WrestleMania and then after Backlash was the most like, maybe I'll give AEW a shot. Now, lots of people say that as a meme and they don't actually do it, but still, that never happened
Yeah,
in the Triple
I think
H
thing
era.
is like people say like, oh, the like it's like, well, it's like the Saturday Night's main event had like the highest rating of
Yeah,
all the Saturday Night's main
right.
events
And
before.
that's the
So
thing
like I
where
think people still tune in for Cena even if they're like hate watching it.
they do, yeah. And that's the thing though, where it's gonna be interesting the next couple months because I feel like this, since Mania, the Scott thing was a hiccup, but since Mania, this has been the most like crap Triple H has gotten in this era. And that's what worries me because I could see Triple H being the guy being like, nah, we're gonna have Cena be a heel to like start of his set. I could actually see him doing the whole thing as a heel now. Just be like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking show these fans that whole like I'm gonna talk to my friend Mark promo. I feel like Triple H has that and still be like, well, they can go fucking watch AEW, especially like you said when the ratings come in, right? And that's strange because like so far in the Triple H run up until Mania, that hadn't happened yet. It was all there's issues, but it was never when I see, which I don't agree with, but when I see fucking people talking about like, oh, Vince wouldn't let this happen. When's Vince like? Vince should be here. It's like, okay, let's not fucking get crazy now. Like, I have issues with the product. I definitely think it's the weakest since Paul's taken over, but it's vastly superior to like the 2018-17 to like 2021 run, which was just
To
like,
me, I think like all the TV and stuff after Mania has been like, well, it's definitely better than before Mania. I'd say like I've been really liking
yeah,
like the Raw and Smack, like even SmackDown. Like I wasn't a fan of the 3 hour SmackDown at first, but I feel like after Mania they've had like good stuff on there, and I feel like people are just like, yeah, it's like, oh, it's like the worst. Like I feel like it was worse like a couple months ago, but
I
people
think
are
it's
still like,
I
yeah.
think you're right on the regular. I think it's just those big decisions, right? That people are having a tough time when it is like Cena with Paul. And I think the Cena thing's tough because it's not only the for me, it's not like I said. I don't come from the heel face perspective. It's just the dates. It is like, okay, we only have so little time with him, and I'm not saying he's fucking '90s Bret Hart, who's like the best wrestler in the world, but it's like, do we really need to see him do this tag match? I think that's it, and that's why I do think the Money in the Bank winners will have that, because I think there's lots of people that view Money in the Bank supposed to be for the rising stars, but I think they're gonna get a rude awakening this year, and I think you got a chance of, even Naomi. You can make the argument that like she's not like like she's a heel, but like she's won the world title like a few times. Like she's an established star, but I'm fine with Naomi winning, but we'll see. Lyra versus Becky. I heard are you predicting Lyra's getting the win here via
I
Bailey
feel like
interference?
I feel like I think so because I think it's just like a weird stipulation for like a face to do.
Mm.
Like if she loses, she has to like raise Becky's hand. Like I feel like it adds like because it could be also like people could see it's like, oh, that means like if Becky can't challenge for it again, then like, oh, that means she's winning it for sure. I feel like Bailey could return and cost her that. And maybe Bailey beats Lyra for the title at some point. I don't know how that would work, but yeah, because it's not she can't challenge for the title. It's not like the Cody thing. It's like
It's
she
just
can't challenge as
Lyra.
long as Lyra is
Yeah,
holding it. Yeah.
the classic Randy Orton
I also
evolution
just
play.
randomly remembered that Cody had that stip for Roman at Mania 40. Like Rock was like, if you lose, you can't challenge for the title ever again.
I
No, in
forgot
like
that
a
was part of
random
the
promo,
story.
yeah, he said that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where
So
we
he
all
did it
knew, like,
again.
okay,
Yeah.
it's over. Yeah, no, I remember that. My favorite version of that is Randy Orton did that with Triple, because Randy Orton, when he got kicked out of Triple Evolution, they had so many rematches, and then they did that stip. So then for 2 months, it was just Randy trying to cost Triple H the title so he could challenge for it. It was great stuff actually, and then they just randomly turned Randy Orton heel because like, well, Undertaker's no one wrestle at WrestleMania. Here you go, and then he RKO's his girlfriend live on TV. It was very very odd, very odd time, the Evolution breakup. But I draft her. I said she's gonna win. I feel like because it's not a big deal because like you said, Lyra can lose at any point, then Becky gets it. I just feel I'm with people that I think they are going to do the triple threat at Evolution, where it's Lyra, Becky, and Bailey, and I feel like that's how you get there. I could see some weird hot potatoing where Lyra could lose it to Becky, and then Becky could lose it to Bailey, and how you cap it all off is the triple threat, and then I think you have Lyra win that. So I
Like
think
at
either way,
SummerSlam or something, yeah.
yeah. Well, no, I think they do it at Evolution. I think like the big show,
Oh.
yeah, the female show. I think they'd have Lyra win it there, and then maybe you do like a last chance, whatever, Becky Lynch Lyra match. Again, like I said, bring back 3 Stages of Hell. I love 3 Stages of Hell. Triple H, Steve Austin, no way at 3 Stages of Hell. Oh my God, one of my favorites ever. I love that. Even Shawn and Triple H was good, but I'm still gonna say Becky. I think there's some weird thumbnail too where you can see like it's gonna feel like a fake thumbnail, but Becky hold up the title and Lyra hold up her arm like that feels like a fake thumbnail, but I can see it in my mind of
Yeah,
Becky being
I'm
the
like
man.
either way about it. I could see both ways happening.
Yeah. So, and then like we talked about, we'll see about the fifth match that gets added. But yeah, I think overall all these matches should be good except for the tag. The tag I'm gonna be interested, but like we said, Paul's kind of there as like a heater for Cena. To me, you don't get the real temperature check on Cody and Cena until the rematch. And if it's in Atlanta, that doesn't count either because it's in Cody's hometown. But that's why and I don't know if it's weird Cody winning the title back at Saturday Night's Main Event. I could see him having a big match there, but to win the title back, like that would seem odd to me in the panels of time, because there's so many times where Saturday Night's Main Event just goes away and then it's never talked about. Like the last time, it was gone for like 12 years and it's not even talked about at all. And it's like, oh yeah, it's a show we used to do where at least it's SummerSlam and they're doing the night one, night two thing. So I still think it's going to be SummerSlam. Brooklyn's another hard crowd too, but again, this time I don't know what the reaction will be like, but I feel like it would be more favorable to Cody because I think people are ready to move on from this, but who knows? Maybe they're not. So, and Jay won't even be world champion by SummerSlam, I imagine.
Yeah,
So,
I do wonder what Jay is doing like at a SummerSlam if he's not the champion. Just like what just
when is
with
Night of
Jimmy
Champions
again.
again?
And like at the end of June, I think like 28th
So
or
it's in
something like
between,
that.
right? Yeah, because that's what I So I predicted when we were talking on Discord, like Jay versus Seth at Saudi. I think if they don't do it there, they could do that at SummerSlam. Like you said, it could be Sammy or someone else. Like if Seth is
I
versing
think
anyone but
one of the
Jay, I see
one of
Jay and Seth at SummerSlam like a big matchup.
Yeah, and I was thinking one of the rumors, I think it was a Boo or something like that, was like Jimmy was gonna go to Raw. So I feel like a SummerSlam match or something like that could be like the Usos versus like Braun and Bronson or something
New
like that,
Day.
like for the tag titles. Yeah, I don't know.
They run them and New Day back for like the 800th time. But
Yeah,
yeah, you could do the Usos versus the Brawns. Yeah, that could work. So yeah, I think you got that because yeah, you could do Seth and Punk because Seth and Punk they're doing at least one more match, right? And I feel
and you
like
gotta do one for the title, like
yes, and you gotta
yeah.
get Seth an actual win here because like he didn't win. Like Rowan pulled him out of a cage at the Raw, whatever it was. Like he needs an actual win, even though it'll be cheating. So yeah, yeah, I think I'm still going with my gut that it's Seth and Jay at Saudi, and then yeah, Seth and Punk at SummerSlam, and then yeah, because right, we got right off
And then
Punk.
Seth and Cody at Crown Jewel.
Yeah, Seth and Cody at Crown Jewel, and I think Seth would win that one because I don't think Cody should win twice, and I think Seth should get his win back. And then yeah, and like I said, I hope the trajectory is Seth and Sammy. I know lots of people are
And you
rocking with the
probably put
Punk.
Seth in like if they're doing War Games again, he's probably in
Absolutely.
the War
Yes.
Games.
It's going to
Yeah.
be whatever Dangerous Alliance is versus Team Punk and Jay or whatever. I know everybody's on the, not everybody. I see lots of people you talked about earlier about the Punk Cody match at Mania. I'm not sold on that yet.
That's
Don't
just
get me
like
wrong. I
that's
want
just like
that.
my pick that I've just been saying, just because it's like just as an example,
It'd be
because I don't
great.
really know what it'll be really.
Yeah, I don't know either. I never know why. This is what I want one time. They're not going to do it now, but I would love a faction in the future to actually do. It makes sense when there's one title, but it never makes sense when there's like two world titles and the faction breaks over who's going to be the world champion. I would love a faction be like, hey, I'm literally to state like we're gonna take over the gold. My plans to be a champion on Raw. My plans to be champion like he's gonna be in SmackDown. Like for Braun and Seth to eventually fight, I would love a situation where imagine if Seth's world champion on Raw and like Braun wins the Rumble and he's going after Cody. I don't think that would main event WrestleMania, but I also think Cody could take, it sounds bad, but like could take a back seat this year and whether it's a bigger match or an actual women's match main event because unless it's Cody versus Punk, I don't know. I guess there's always that threat of Roman and him too. They could always do
Cody
Rome
Roman three
thrice in
stages
a
of Hell at
lifetime.
Mania.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They could. Oh, they could. They absolutely like Brock and him did it right. Like I think we're getting it. It's just a question of when and same because it's like yeah, what's oh yeah. You know what? That's a tough thing. I feel bad
Roman
for
Seth at
yes.
SummerSlam. Yeah.
Well, not even so. That to me could be Mania too. I could
Yeah.
see you could do Punk and Seth at SummerSlam and Roman at because I could see Roman. He'll come back, but I could see Roman winning the Rumble, being gone for a while,
World
and
Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns.
absolutely, absolutely, I could see that because they've always talked about like multiple times, a little less now, but throughout their career, they're like, oh, our goal is to main event WrestleMania together, and I could see Triple H doing that because I think he likes that the ties with the WrestleManias. Like I think he likes them going from
That's when you do the Moxley return at the end.
oh my god, yeah, and he screwed that he joins the Seth Liners or whatever. But no, like I don't think honestly Roman versus Cody or Roman versus Seth is out of the realm possibility for either one. Like because I know we could get him and Jacob, but it feels like that's kind of gone. Like Jacob's becoming more and more of a baby face every day, so that just doesn't really work right now. And Roman's too over, so I don't know what they're gonna do with Roman. Roman doesn't even know what he's gonna do. I don't even know he's gonna go fight, do Street Fighter, and be back at fucking War Games. I don't know. He took one spear through the guardrail from Braun, and he's ridden off TV. Like my God, like oh well. All right. Yeah. How was you were there live? We've talked a little bit about it, but how was Saturday Night's Main Event live? And if there's any matches specifically you want to talk, because we talked about Jay and Paul whatnot, but what did you feel of that show being there live?
It was fun. It wasn't a very big venue. It was like at a college. It was like on a college campus there.
Mm-hmm.
So and yeah, I was like way high up. Like I was so high up that our seats like we didn't even have seats. Like they were just like bleachers with like no back to it at all. So it was a bit uncomfortable, but since the show was only like 2 hours, it wasn't
Yeah.
that bad. Uh, I'd say yeah, there was a lot of people there. I'd say just there, like most over people. Well, yeah, it's like the tweet I said that it was like Cody, Cena, Jay, and when they played the video of Rhea Ripley. Uh, what
Yeah, it's
else?
like the Tadum event. Everyone's been sharing that clip where no one gets reaction until Rhea grabs the mic, and that's where it's like we've talked about this before, where it's like, yeah, you got Roman and Cody about who's QB or the tribal chief, but it's like
Yeah,
really
I'll say
again,
like before it's like before I started watching wrestling, like the only wrestling people I knew just because their videos like and stuff like popped up was like The Rock, John Cena, like Logan Paul,
yeah.
and Rhea Ripley. Like those are the only wrestling related clips I would ever see would be those.
People that don't watch wrestling at all, like we said before, they know who Rhea Ripley is. Where it's like they don't like they might know the other people, but like I mean, like they know and be like, oh, that I really like Rhea Ripley. They have no reason to like Rhea Ripley other than she looks really cool and she looks hot, and they don't or they've seen a match, but like for them, it's just like, oh yeah, no, Rhea Ripley, man, that's my person there. So
So yeah, it was fun. There was like a huge line of people to like get in, but like you could just walk to the front and like just like get in through the doors. Like I don't know, like there was a huge line of people like lined up to get into the building, but you could just like walk up to the front and like no one really did anything. So that was good. Uh, what else? Yeah, Saturday Night's event was fun. There was definitely a lot. I heard that there were a lot of like commercials
there was a
on like
lot of
and like
commercials.
even in the building, like sometimes like a match would end, they would play like a video package, and then do like one backstage segment, and then just go to commercial again. Like it was like it would feel like there were just like 15 minutes of just like the whole arena just being dark, and then just playing like videos and stuff.
Yeah, it was I can't remember which match it was, but there was one bad one where it might have been the tag
Or
being
I
I don't
feel
know
like
where
Chelsea Green, like she made her entrance, and I swear she was in the ring, just like in the dark while they played video packages for like 15 minutes, like
there
just
was a
waiting
situation
there.
where yeah we got back and I think it was one though there could have been that situation you talk about and then there's one during a match where we got back and it was I don't know under 5 minutes and we were already back in commercial. There's a lot and it's tough because like you said the show best rating since then you had Punk and Cena on there so it was loaded so I don't think it's not you can't make a case for them not doing it. I guess it always depends what their number is, right? What they view as success. But I think those are successful shows. They do them every once in a while. It's not every Saturday, so I think it's fine. And I think it's still a good
I think it's
idea
been said
to
that
get the
like
exposure.
NBC pretty much picks what days they're gonna do them. So they're pretty much saying like
Well, there's
NBC
no way
picked
they
that.
picked that fucking
Well, no,
all
that's
in
that's
date.
what they were saying. Like they picked that day, but like NBC picked that day, but WWE picked the Great American Bash to go earlier.
Oh yeah, well,
Like
because that's
like
what
that's the
happened.
one they
They
picked because
yeah.
like apparently those are just the days NBC has open to play a spot. Because that's
I
why
need
they're
to
so
sit
like
down with an
weirdly
NBC
placed.
person and say that to my fucking face. That sounds
I
like the
mean, I think it
most
was like a
like
Fightful one. I'm pretty sure.
well, hey, Sean Ross Sapp told me no one's being added to the Heyman group, and then right away he's like, "Well, that was the plan," which was so weird because like him and Abu were talking, and Abu was like, "Yeah, I keep hearing they're gonna add people," and he not even that he said like, "Oh, that's not what I'm hearing." He did a full report like, "Oh, we can report no one's being added to this group," and then of course is backpedaling. I got no actual issues with it. It's just funny where because if he gets one thing wrong or like semi wrong and people call him out, it's a full thing on Twitter going on. But that's why, yeah, that could be the case. And obviously they add those other shows. So, but yeah, no, it's been funny to watch. AEW's usually on Sunday. Well, we'll go to Saturday just in case. And then those events happen. Okay, we're going to after me. Well, we'll do Great American Bash, and we'll see what happens there. Like I said, I don't prefer it for me that we don't do this full time because it's just like a pain to watch those all. And same thing with NXT. Like I enjoyed. We'll get there. I didn't watch all the match, but I enjoyed the matches I watched on Battleground. But I would have possibly watched it live and say, oh no, I got this going on and this going on. But yeah, the show it's tough as a TV watcher with the ads and everything. There's a lot. It just breaks a lot, but the look's still cool. It's still fun to have Jesse just mad about something. I've said this before. Like he is so just fucking out there.
And it's like
that,
it's like that's the bit at this point. Like it's
yes.
like a heel thing because yeah, people pointed out like there's even a clip of like him commentating like a steel cage match, and I think it was like the Big Boss man. He's like, I think you should use the door to win this match.
Yeah.
Like so yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting, but yeah, as a show, I bet live it's great because yeah, during the match you don't get any of those ads, but yeah, watching
But I feel like
it was a tough
even
watch.
with like the ads and stuff, I feel like it's different than a PLE where it's because with this having ads, like for example, like in the tag match, like Sammy was the first one in and they're beating him up, and I'm like, I know he's not gonna tag in Punk until the commercials are over.
Yeah, you
So
kind
it's
of get
like
that
it's
cadence
different
going.
than
Yeah,
watching like a PLE and stuff like that.
yeah, and it's so much more reduced because even Raw, which is I guess sometimes 2.5 hours, right? But still, when SmackDown used to be 2 hours, it feels like there's a longer because with Saturday Night's Main Event they put like these like almost like PLE type of matches, right? Like a steel cage or the tag. So it's like they're matches that get some time. Obviously, Cena and Truth did not. It was what it was, but they try and give some of the bigger matches time. Where on Raw, it's like usually you'll get like I don't know 1 to 2 matches that get that time, and then the rest are more. There's been some weeks so
And then
lately where
even
they've
then
actually had
you
lots of
the
wrestling, but
Yeah, and then even then on like Netflix, they don't really like the ad breaks aren't as long. Even like
yeah,
when you compare like especially on NXT TV, the ad breaks are super long because that's just like on the CW, which is like just like a free network. Like those NXT the NXT TV ads feel like double what like SmackDown or
oh
Raw
yeah.
ad breaks. Like they feel like forever. Like I feel like sometimes they even play the same commercials twice. They're that long.
Jeez Louise, yeah. So, yeah. So as watching it, was not a fan of that, and obviously there's a couple things on there that weren't great. Cena Truth is what it is. Chelsea and Zelina, yeah, that was a tough watch. That was one of those where sometimes you have. It's not that I think Ricky Saints is that level, but I just mean like that's where Zelina is the thing where okay, they gave the title. I think it is a situation like let's see what you got. And I'm not trying to be like release a person, demote them, not like that. But sometimes you just get to see some people are. I don't know. I want her to get one more maybe shot at it. That's tough. I don't know because everyone can have a bad match. This has felt like worst match of the year quality for me. Like that's what it felt like, and that the botch of the 619, the kick to Chelsea was brutal, and it's fine because mistakes happen. It was just it felt Divas title era, which is not I've not felt that for a while. I've watched bad women's matches, bad men's matches, that happens all the time. But this felt like akin to a different era. And that's where it's tough where it's like I would like her to get another shot. Because with Chelsea, I know it's like a two-man person or two-woman thing, but it's like with Chelsea, I've seen her deliver. Where Zelina, I haven't. So you'd want her to, but at the same time, that sometimes happens where you don't get the ball again if you kind of, I won't say screw that up, but kind of under-delivered. Luckily for them, it's not like it was the main event or the opener of the show, right? If that was one of those spots, then I think they would both be in some trouble. Like they'd have to worry about some things. But
I mean, that's like the Creed brothers thing. Like when they first got called up, they had like main event of Raw for the tag titles against like the Judgment Day, and they like botched on Finn and
I
like kicked
heard
out at
right.
3.1 and then like
Yes.
disappeared from TV for like 6 months. So
Yeah.
I feel
And
like
that's
that's more of an example of like you're saying like if it's an important match.
yes, the two most, just like GMO, right? The beginning and the end. So I think it's obviously next week's Money in the Bank cast, so we're doing that. But I think by the time we do the all-in predictions and evolution predictions, would not be surprised if Zelina Vega is no longer the U.S. champion. Like I think they put her Julia.
Yeah, I
Julia just
think
kind of
Julius for
semi
sure winning
squashes her.
the title. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think, and then you establish that because at least the IC title, Lyra's won it. She's still the first champ, and to me, that's getting way more established. She was having some good matches, and now there's like a big story tied to it, big character with Becky Lynch. US title hasn't had that. The win was big because I think everyone felt, oh, something good for Chelsea. But then after that was okay. You got the for her service or whatever, which
The
is all
Meechin verse.
yeah, exactly that type of stuff. So I think Julia will add some to that, and that can build Julia up as well.
I
And
think that could be like a Night of Champions match because they just put a ton of matches on this show,
really, yeah, I guess it could be. I could also just see.
or just like on SmackDown.
I
Yeah,
could see it just be on SmackDown. I really could. Like we'll see. And then what I think they could do her dirty is they'll do that on SmackDown, and then Night of Champions will give Julia like a wrestler opponent, like someone really good, like that. That's the
I'm trying to think
prediction I
like,
see. So
yeah, you do, yeah.
even Meech, like
Okay.
I know Meech will give her a better match. Like there's a chance because we haven't talked about this yet. Right now, Vakir, we're gonna, like a lot of things are kind of intertwining, but the rumor is that Vakir, Grace, and Saints are going up, and I think the like Stephanie's for sure on Raw. The feeling is Grace is gonna be on SmackDown. I know they've done some of that in NXT, but like honestly, you can just do Julia and Grace and fucking Saudi and
Yeah,
call
I
it. You
think I
know,
saw like I think Julia Grace is probably more an evolution
yeah.
match. I feel like they run that back there.
But then who do you, like I said, who do you do at Night Champs? I guess there's always Meechum. There's always, who else is there on SmackDown if
Chelsea
it's not
Green.
Saint? And Julie just fucking kills
And
her.
they actually already that was Julia's first WWE match was
Oh,
Chelsea
was it
Green
Chelsea
on
Green? Yeah.
NXT, yeah.
Give
It
her
wasn't even
Jade.
like a squash too. I remember it being like pretty good. So maybe they just do that.
They could, yeah, they could. Like I said, I'm saying the meme pick. Give her Jade and see what happens. See what happens. But yeah, we'll see. And then anything else? And then yeah, Drew and Damien. I like the K match a lot. Sucks that Damien's like all these reports like, yeah, he's gone, but like he's gone for a while. Like it sounds like he's pretty banged up. So which is fine. Go heel, take the time off. He's had a good run here. He'll get a pop when he comes back. People will be missing him because again, my issues was that I think they had a lot of momentum with him last year after Punk, and they cut. And I like I've said before, I thought the Bloodline Hunter was a perfect way to keep that
Roman
momentum
Hogan
going.
took him down, yeah.
Yeah, Roman Hogan took him down, and that's where I would love them to pick that back up again. But if not, him going away is not the worst thing because when he comes back, there'll be big stories. Kind of
I feel
sucks because
like
I'm with
Cody
people.
and Drew probably
Cody and
maybe
Drew would be
like
great. Yeah, I'm kind of
that
with
could be
people that.
like a title match at like the Rumble or something like that.
Yeah, or if Drew's a Rumble surprise, right? That's the thing where he
Yeah.
could be that. That could always be the. What do they do now? Chambers always at like a big stage now too. But yeah, I'm with some people too that I'm kind of disappointed we might not get Drew and Cena because I thought that was going to be something really good. And who knows how long Drew's gone, but I think it's going to be one of those just kind of two ships passing that we might not get it happen. So sucks because Drew's one of my favorites. I love watching him on TV. I like his work style. I like his promo style. We'll see what happens with Priest. Seems like Priest is going to be in the U.S. title picture because he's stare down fought too, and that could be good. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't even know what they'll do with Drew in the future. Maybe switches brands and goes to Raw and they tie the Seth thing up, right? Because for a while they kept doing shows where they were in storylines, but Seth and Drew would bump into each other and do the stare down. So I always thought that was going somewhere. And again, I'm super
I think
disappointed.
that's like apparently was one of the original plans. Like
Yeah, because
there
I
was
wonder if
gonna
that
be
was.
like a Seth faction before this, which was yeah, like people are saying like they haven't outright said it, but I think the feeling was like it was gonna be Seth and KO and Drew or something like that.
Oh, the problem group of like what the
Yeah.
justified villain group. Yeah, and that's what sucks because I really liked Drew's stories the way they were intertwined. I know people don't really care, but I was super disappointed when he said, "Oh, when I was gone, only one person called." I want to know who that one fucking person was. We're never gonna get that. They just dropped that, but like that to me was intriguing.
The
I was like,
Rock.
"Oh, he's a bad." Yeah, even it was that, but yeah, we didn't get that, so we'll see. And
I
then
remember that
before,
was that theory when there was the fake leak that he was
yep.
winning the chamber. I was like, it's gonna be Cody and Drew with the Rock in his corner, and the Rock was the one who called them.
In retrospect, I wish we maybe went that route. I wish now I guess not because Drew's hurt, so that would have screwed things up. But alas, here we are. But yeah, and then before we get to AW, we had Battleground and lots of crazy stuff going on there. We Dave Tabo with Stephanie Vakir. I watched Vakir's match. I watched the men's title, and then I watched the TNA. I didn't get around to watching the North American Women's, and then I can't watch the family stuff. I can't watch that. And then everyone told me the calling, like, don't worry about
The
it. But
6 man, it was better than I expected. I was
yeah,
expecting like I don't know, just like 2.5, 3 star
TV
match.
match.
I
Yeah,
thought it was pretty fun. Like
good.
it was enjoyable. They all did their stuff. They got their stuff in, and yeah, I thought it was enjoyable. Like I wasn't expecting much from that one, and yeah, the family one, like it was just like just both their styles just aren't very like they don't do a lot of like flashy moves like compared to a lot of people on NXT. So it's just kind of like a slow like brawling match. And
Hmm.
yeah, Stacks won, but it was just like it was
Someone
okay.
interfered, didn't they?
like Luca Crusfino just like stood at ringside and Stax was or no Tony
Did
was
the
like, oh, what do you?
Abusha Omega spot
Yeah,
of
he was just like looking at him, and then like Stax just like low blowed him and like hit his finisher, and like Stax was like never won a match, so no one knew like what his finisher was. And I'm pretty sure it was just like a running knee. It was just like Danielson's running knee. That was his finisher
nice.
apparently, and yeah, he won.
And then what do you think about the North American women's title? Because I've not watched that. I've heard obviously it's in that same vein of like Osprey and Ricochet, where it seems like it's very divided. Of lots of people love it, lots of people hate it. All I can weigh in on is the other thing that's been is the finish. What's her finish again? The
The Soul Snatcher.
yeah, Soul Snatcher. Very athletic. I don't hate the move like other people. I think at times it does look a little awkward.
All I'll
It's all
say
about the
is I don't
timing.
care. I don't care when people jump for someone else's finisher. Like when The Rock jumped for the Cody Cutter at Mania, like that was sick. I don't care that he jumped, and
That's what I
that
was gonna say.
like
I think it's
doesn't
all
make
about
sense. Like
timing
I
because
don't
sometimes
care.
it does look. It looks very like play child. Like I'm going for it, but that's the thing. If you don't care, then it's fine. It's very impressive. It is like an odd finisher, but it's so athletically impressive. It's something that I could just kind of look past. But where are you? Because I know you're a fan of her, but yeah, where were you
Yeah,
on this
I,
matchup? Because
I
it's one
really
of those
like
that
this match.
divides it.
It was definitely building on like I think it built on the first match because the first match was very much like I wouldn't be surprised if it was like all pre-planned out and rehearsed because it was like
Mm,
very much like that like Ricochet Osprey match with just like tons of flips and like dodging people's moves and like the Matrix dodge and
yeah.
stuff like that. And then this one like they started the match like that, but then it went into like much more of a normal match. Like the first sequence was like that spot where they're like kicking and doing backflips over each other's moves and like stop. They doing like I think on the first match they did the full on like superhero pose. On this one they didn't.
Yes, like that's where the Ricochet Osprey compares because they did the
Yeah.
same thing back in the day. Yeah, that's where it was
But then
like the
this one
whole.
they just did more of just like their normal moves. Like obviously a lot of still very athletic stuff. Like Kalani Jordan does like a version of like because Carmelo Hayes does one of his moves is like where like person's like hung over the top rope and he does like a leg drop like in the ring. She does a version of that where it's like does that, but when she jumps up, she starts in like the other direction and midair
Mm,
like turns around and then does the leg drop. And yeah, she was doing like Connie Jordan does like an angle slam and stuff like that. Like they were
oh,
doing a
okay.
lot more moves and stuff like that. And yeah, I really liked that. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was a great match.
Yeah, I meant to watch it. I have to because I'm like I said on the last takeover when they the ladder match. I'm like other people. I got invested in the her and the what's her name again, Zara or
Sorry. Oh, there was a
Zaria.
spot where they did like Kalani was gonna give her like a poison rana and then she does it, Soruka lands on her feet and then does like a spear like Zarya
Oh,
and that was
nice. Yeah.
like a near fall. And eventually Zarya like I think at one point she caught her on the outside of the ring and like put her down and then also she like just like blatantly pulled her out of the ring like when Kalani was gonna do her finisher and she got kicked out from like she got ejected. But then she was standing at like the very end of the ramp, like still watching the match. Like
Okay,
even
I
though she
see.
got ejected, yeah.
Yeah. No,
And
I
now they're
like all
like with
that.
the they've like adopted Tatum Paxley on
I
NXT.
saw on Paxley
Yeah.
has like the dolls and stuff like that. I hope it's a group they don't break up and that'd be someone to start them two out to just inject into the women's tag division like on the main roster. That would be great. I worry they'll probably break them up before, but who knows? I think Solruka it's tough because they already got that speed championship, and I feel like she's another one that like I there's two routes for her. She could be like another main NXT woman to take over lots of those people leaving, or she could be someone in 5 months. I can say, yeah, they're bringing her up because like, they like her. That she what it doesn't matter how people talk about the matches. It's one of those. It's a conversation starter. She has a good look. She has a good vibe. She has very cool move set. So that's where it's like I could see in 5 months her already being on the main roster. I just can't get a read because same thing with Grace. Grace wasn't there that long, a little bit different, but still like I don't know. So that's the same thing of if the longer she's in NXT, I think there's a longer the chance happens, the breakup angle happens, and they do it there. But that's what I'm kind of hoping she gets called up like sooner, so they can like bring that to the main roster, because we've talked about this before. The women's need more tag team. I think that'd be a good way to start it. You could break up them up there, and then you can push them whenever, right? Because I don't think before that trajectory of like, oh, you got to win the NXT women's title and then go up. It seems like they're not doing that as much right now with the titles.
Yeah,
Like it's
I
just like
think
same thing with Ricky and Grace, right? Like if they're both going up, they're there shortly. Saints only won the secondary. Grace won nothing, and then they're already going up. So I don't think Soul has to stay there, but I could see a situation
but
where
also
now
the
she's
thing
gonna hold it down.
the thing with Grace is like she was like as part of WWE she wasn't there a long time, but like last year she made like a couple appearances and like had matches in NXT
Yes.
like when she was in TNA. So I feel like they could the one that's definitely is like the Ricky one is like yeah, they just want like well, I think that was the report. They didn't have any Mania plans for him,
Yeah.
so they just said go to NXT while we figure something
Which
out.
makes sense to me. It was like
Yeah.
a fun little run there, and I watched the promo they did. I didn't get to watch the match, but and Saints like yeah, I think it's interesting what they're gonna do with him when they bring him up. Are they gonna go the Rusev Black route where it's just Saints versus random lower card guy for a little bit, or is he gonna be in
Punk
a big
versus
angle?
Ricky
Yeah.
3.
Well, yeah, you could do either way. He could align with Punk, or he could
Do
align with Seth.
AEW lore, more AEW
That'll be
lore.
War Games. It'll be Seth versus Team AEW. It'll be him. It'll be Saints. They'll get Ethan Page up there. They'll wait for Brody King's contract to expire to get him over there. But like to me, I would like because I feel like I'm already not uninterested, but with Black and Rusev, it just feels like they came back and I don't know. I like when it's a completely kind of new person. I like the versus random wrestler build them up. But when we kind of already know them and like especially those who've been around for a while, same thing as Saints. Like I don't need a 6 week run of him versing Austin Theory and then Grayson Wall. Like it just doesn't. I really feel like get them over that much. It just gets the people to know them. I would love Saints to be in a hot angle right away. Like right away he is in. Even if he was with Seth's group, like he can be like
I've
the
seen
it's
like he could be part of the story, but like on Punk, like the
yeah,
pitch I've seen, it's
sure.
like he joins first on Punk's team and eventually like turns on them and joins Seth's team.
Yeah, I'm completely for that. Like, I think that with Rusev, I agree with people. I think the working theory is that they're going to eventually. I don't know. Do you remember, or you were watching? But have you heard about how they put the Bar, Sheamus, and Cesaro
Yeah.
together? I think that's what they're doing with him and Rusev right now, where they're going to fight, but then eventually they're just going to team them up, and then Rusev doesn't have to take no pins because he'll be in a tag division, and that's fine. So that's fine. Black, I really don't know. Like maybe they're gonna do
They'll
something with
probably
LA Knight
fight
because
like
that whole like
Fatu. Yeah.
yeah, right, yeah, I guess just the mid card scene for a little bit. So that's where with Saints I'd like one of these newer guys just to be in right away because I would say like Stephanie, like she's gonna be right away. If Julia wins the US title, that's right away. Grace, I hope it's something right away because I am with David where she did lose a lot in NXT. Like I kind of now in retrospect, and I thought the match was great with her and Stephanie. They had really good chemistry. I really want them to turn Grace heel. There was that moment when she went for the Devil's Kiss and she rolled out and slammed her right in front of Booker, and she,
Everyone does the like that's the thing with the Devil's Kiss now. Like the first time everyone gets out of it because it gets like
yeah,
insane
of
heat.
course.
Yeah.
But what I
But
loved
yeah,
about
when
was
she do her
she
on
slammed her in front of
on the
Booker.
dubs.
That's what I love. The getting out was a great spot because like she used her power. But I love she slammed her in front of Booker and then she just like stared at Booker. And I said this to you like months ago when she lost it first. I'm like, oh, I want her to be a heel just because I feel like as a babyface she might get a little lost right now. And she's still good enough as a babyface, that's fine. But as a heel, like we have Raquel, we have Naya, but I feel like she's kind of like she could be like the anti-Rhea of like the big muscly woman, but on the bad side. And just in that moment when she slammed Stephanie in front of Booker, I was like, oh, you got healed. Like the isms were there, and she didn't even fully lean into it because she was still like a baby face. But she almost won, and then she looked at that title, and no, those two were really great. Like Stephanie, I've not seen that much of. I saw the mini AEW run and then a few of these NXT title matches, and the EO match was great. But no, that was my favorite there, and that was up there with like Double or Nothing. They had multiple 4, 5, or like 4.5 matches. That was in that ilk of that weekend of man. That was just delivered. Great near falls. There's a I don't know what they call it, but she does like that, tilt a world backbreaker where she slams them on the knee. I
Yeah.
didn't think Grace was losing there, but the way Stephanie sold it when she kicked out the zoom in, some wrestlers when they do that, it feels fake as fuck, and it's like, oh my, it's like, no, okay, you never believe, but Stephanie legitimately looked like I thought I had her, and it was really good. I do think though, I would have preferred them that Stephanie lost to Grace and then Grace lost to JC Jane, just to give Grace like one big win, because she hasn't got that big moment yet. So that's why I've said then you do the heel turn, you can lose a little bit. And even then do the heel turn, pair it with Naomi. Like they've teased that a few times in the Rumble. Again, that'd be another great for the women's tag. She could even be Naomi's heater for a bit, and maybe there's a situation where Naomi's the Money in the Bank winner, and that's how they can kind of turn Grace. Like Grace is somebody where I've been watching for a long time, and she was never bad, but back in the day she was just like a powerhouse, just like the bigger lady did those moves. But now she's so smooth. So see where she was, like even when she was in the first All In, like from there to then, completely different talent. So that was a really good match, and I'm excited for them both. Like Stephanie, she's gonna, I don't know, like if you were to tell me, hey, WrestleMania they're gonna do Rhea versus Stephanie for the title, I wouldn't even say you're crazy, because I just feel like that's going to be a very mediocre rise. And Grace, I think, is just a great talent. But like I said, my preference is
Meteoric rise, not
Oh yeah,
mediocre rise.
she's only in the women's battle royal. Yeah, media. Oh, fuck, I can't say it. What you say it? Say it for me.
Meteoric.
Meteoric. Thank you. I needed that.
Mediocre.
Just like there's another word I always subsequent. See, subsequently
Yeah, subsequently.
subsequently. Yeah, there is a good GeekVerse blooper where me, Kirkland Taylor, could not say it. We were trying to say it, so. But that's my pitch for Grace. Pair with Naomi. But yeah, that was a really good match. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the whole? That match, but then also the JC Jane out of nowhere taking. Obviously, they were getting called up, but we don't know what notice, because to me it's strange of like if they knew that was happening. I was surprised that this wasn't like a triple threat on the Battleground. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the women's division now in NXT with all the shifts and now JC Jane's champ?
Yeah, with the whole JCG thing, they were definitely like at least as of Battleground happening, they knew that was going to happen, because at Battleground they had backstage segments with JC Jane, and that's how like the match happened, because it was like her and Fallon were like arguing the entire show, and then she like came up and slapped Stephanie, and that's what set up the match. So I mean, at
Okay.
least from then they
Yeah.
must have known that it was happening. But yeah, the match, it was great. Like, just an awesome match. That like the tombstone reversal spot that Jordan did. Like someday they have to actually let her hit it. But that spot
Yeah.
was great. What else? What else was really good? Yeah, like you said, the spot where she got out of the Devil's Kiss the first time was great, because yeah, like everyone stood up and then everyone sat back down. Uh, what else? Obviously, I always like her winning with like her secondary finisher. Like that one's just really cool to see. And yeah, it was a really good match. They have really good chemistry, and yeah, Jordan is definitely like you said, like she hasn't won really that much in NXT, but her matches are always great.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for her on the main roster.
Yeah, she's a workhorse, so I can't wait. And then yeah, the two other matches, Joe and Trick was, it was fine. It was good. I think the crowd elevated
Yeah,
that
like
much.
the opening to the match.
Yeah, the whole Omega Brian spot, but like the crowd was hyped, so that helped the match. And I think it was like a fine match. And then Bourne and Oba was. I've not seen Bourne wrestle, maybe like a few times, but really not in anything high profile like this. But I liked it. I liked that Bourne was kind of like this grappler that was trying to outmaneuver Oba, but Oba's just a force. So I thought that was a really good. Obviously, I know why that didn't main. I still think Stephanie and Gray should have main evented. I thought it was still weird, like the TNA title. I get it, big moment with Trick. And Trick, yeah, it's gonna be interesting what they do with him, because I know he's not the catch as catch can like greatest wrestler, but I like he's still like when that entrance happened, he's still got that aura. He just looks like a fucking star. So it's one of these things.
Do you know who his first opponent in TNA for the title will be? Or try to guess.
Oh, I thought I heard this, but now I've forgotten about it. I did see it, but who is it?
I'll give you hints if you can try to guess. It's a former WWE person.
Was it one of the Hardys?
No,
Okay, then I don't know.
it's Elias or Elijah.
Oh God, I don't think I saw that. Then that's quite the pick there, which is funny because it's like people's pitch was like, well, he's gonna win the TNA title and go work with some people, like maybe work on some ring gear stuff. It's like I don't know if Elijah Elias is the person I would be picking there, but yeah, like I don't know. There's people on the main roster like the Miz. I think Trick will be fine. I think you also got to get Trick up there because I did not know he was 37. That was crazy, which is still fine because Batista he was nearly 40 when he got his mega push. Like it's still fine. People can work, but I did not know that. He looks like a young guy. So to me, it's like definitely get him up there. This heel stuff, like it's the character work with him. So I'm a big maybe Trick defender. I've not seen everything. I don't watch NXT weekly, so I know there's been some people who have had sat through some Trick matches that maybe weren't the best, but like I think he has
I feel like he can.
a je ne sais
The
quoi
thing with
about
Trick
him.
is like he can have great matches with great people.
Yes.
Like it's, and I think with the main roster you have a lot of great people.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people like a lot of times on Raw or SmackDown you don't wrestle like he's not gonna have to do like the main event of NXT every time. You know, there's sometimes where you're having like a 12-minute TV match, or you can be in a triple threat that covers you a bit. So we'll see. But yeah, what were your thoughts? Trick's new champion, and then yeah, Oba's still champion for a bit. It might not be Saints taking it off him, so I'm not sure if Oba's
Yeah,
just
I
gonna
don't know.
run with that for a while.
I feel like yeah, it'll. Cause right now, like people they've had set up for Ova is like the winner of LFG is like probably the next match. Cause
Right.
he like
Very
ambushed
random.
Ova, and then like Ova on TV was like, oh, like I see, cause he just had like a match, like his debut match, and Ova like he didn't like challenge him for the title, but that's obviously
Yeah.
where they're gonna go. Um, and then after that, I don't know who else really for the men. I mean, I don't know. Maybe just do like Miles Bourne again at some
Yeah.
point. They
Because
probably
you thought
will.
Javon, but Javon seems like he's going to the North American title picture for at least a little bit, right? So,
Yeah. So
yeah,
I don't
so
know, but I feel like yeah, he's definitely gonna hold it for a while. I mean, he held the North American title for a long time, so
yeah. Or hell, maybe there's some fucking AEW talent we don't know whose contract is expiring that they're like, well, we can put them
yeah.
there, you
Who
know?
else?
It's fucking
Because like
Jericho. It's Jericho's gonna get the.
Jericho in NXT.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine that music hit and it would
I
just
could see him doing like the what's it called the TV time with Chris Jericho in NXT. I feel like that setup with the little tree and stuff.
100%, 100%. God damn. Oh man. Okay, so we got that stuff. Okay, so with Double or
Oh yeah,
Nothing.
so I have the Stephanie McCare poster there, the signed
Oh
one.
right, yeah. Where do you have
Yeah,
that there?
just like there. You see it?
Oh, okay, I see it now.
Yeah.
I was like blended
I
in.
was
I
trying
see
to
it
point
now.
at it.
You said you got the last one, eh?
Yeah, it was the last one. Well, I think they had more inside, but they had like an outside merch truck, and yeah. Also a
Hmm.
funny moment there was some of it, like people selling the merch was like still calling him Ricky Starks, and the guy was like, yeah, it said that was his name for 5 years, so I'll still call him that.
This one's been really hard for me. I don't know why. If it's just because it's like just the last name change. I'm getting a bit better with it, but yeah, it's been tough for me. I always slip into Starks, and that's why I'm just trying to go with the Ricky for now. But I've dropped Saints a couple times. So with Double or Nothing, what has or is there anything else AW or sorry WWE NXT related to shout out talk about?
Uh, I'm trying to think. Not really. I guess we could talk some like Worlds Collide a little bit, just like
Yeah,
predictions, sort of, or just talking about the card, I guess.
I gotta get. Yeah, thank goodness they took the title off El Patron whatnot last
Yeah.
night. So which was kind of neat and known. Ray's big time on this poster, but he's not even announced for this. But yeah, you got Lego Del Fantasma versus Psycho Clown. God, L Hj D Dr. Wagner Jr. and then Pagnano, and then Ethan Page defending his title against Laredo Kid and Ray Phoenix and Javon Evans, and Stephanie Vicker and Lola Vice versus Chick Tormenta and Dollies, and then Latino World Order versus the Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana. That's quite. Yeah, I'm interested again because this is happening this is happening next week, the same day, right? So I have to
Hmm.
see.
I think it's just
Yeah,
like on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, is it just on YouTube? Okay,
Yeah,
so
because I
yeah,
think it's like I think like Mexico doesn't have Peacock or something, so I think they're just putting
okay.
it on YouTube.
I'll be interested to see. I want to see the setup. I want it to feel quite different, but it's tough with WWE. They're always like a polished product. And I'll be interested to see if Chad Gable gets the win because I thought if he was gonna win, they would have it as like El Grande Americano getting the win. So that's why I'm surprised
Yeah,
it's
I don't
Chad
think he's
Gable
gonna
here.
win.
So I don't think he's gonna win, but I also don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that he may win in the next few months. So yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I want. I think there'll be some very fun style matchup here. The four way I bet is gonna be good because Laredo Kid, he's at least someone I have seen on this card.
Yeah, I
He's
was gonna
very
say like
good.
pretty
So
much all the people I've heard of on this card are the ones I've heard to be good, and like all the
yes.
people I hadn't heard of are people I hear saying like aren't good or like are washed or one of them. I think it's Mr. Iguana is like people say it's like he's the Jey Uso of
Oh
AAA where he's
no.
just over, but yeah.
That's
But I
fair
feel like
enough,
it's
yeah.
gonna be a fun show. Definitely interesting to see just like yeah, like you said, like the setup and how they do it. If the look is gonna be different or anything. I saw
Yeah.
even Lucha Blog was asking like, I wonder if they're gonna use WWE rules or AAA rules, which is just like every match is just like Bloodline rules.
True, yeah. I feel like I would like it where if it's the North American Championship, that should be WWE rules, but if it's AAA, it should be the
The international 20 count.
yeah, it should. I would like that if like, hey, there's a AAA Mega Championship match. It's those rules. It's not the WWE rules. I would. They
Yeah.
used to do that with New Japan when they still do it when they defend on AEW when they got the 20 count as well. Like I would like them to carry over those rules. It just makes it a little unique. I would understand if it was in the main roster not wanting to do that, but this is like a crossover show, so I feel like
Yeah.
have some fun with it. You know?
Yeah. And yeah, like you said, yeah, I think probably best match. I feel like probably either Chad Gable and Vikingo or the four way. I could see the four way being really,
I think
really
the four
good.
way is going to be. I think the four way is going to steal that show. You got a lot of people in there, and I think it's going to be. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of big spots, and I just think it's going to have a really good pace. Like if it can go and Gable could be really good, so don't get me wrong, but that four way to me just has like show stealer written all over it. So and I feel like that could be the match people are talking about from the weekend if Money in the Bank has some like all right matches because yeah, Lyra and Becky was really good, so I think the rematch will be good. The Money in the Banks are always you never know what you're getting with them. They're always fun, but you never know if you're getting. I feel like all time with Money in the Banks, you're either getting like an all timer or you're getting a dud. Like you never
Yeah,
you sometimes can get some middle of the road matches, but I
I
feel
feel like
like
last year's men's one was just like I don't know, like
that was a dud one. I
forgettable.
thought, yeah, but the
Yeah.
women's one was really good. So that's
Yeah, the
where
women's one was like a car crash type
yes,
one.
they yeah I
Uh,
remember right. It was very dangerous. So
Yeah, this
yeah.
one for both sides, I think the men's one is definitely like an interesting lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it could be fun. Um, the women's one also, yeah, it's sort of interesting.
It's a
I
lot of weird
think,
styles in there. And they got a
yeah, I
couple
think you
like
could have a lot of like nasty bumps and stuff like that in
yeah.
the women's one.
Andrade's gonna try and kill himself again because he always does that in these. And yeah, the
He
women's
always does the sunset flip onto the ladder. That's the
scary.
thing.
I hate it. I hate it. It's just like one that ladder just
Last year he did it
falls.
and it like he hit it so hard it like bounced and
Yes,
like
because he did
flew
that
out of the
Carmelo. It
ring.
was in the
Yeah.
Carmelo spot. Yeah, and yeah, we'll see. But
He
yeah, no,
probably
we'll
he got a Penta Destroyer on or off a ladder, I
oh
assume.
god, don't even W2K this. So yeah, I did forget about that show. So yeah, Worlds Collide. We'll probably talk about a little bit next week. Depends Money in the Bank. If big stuff happens, it takes a long time. But yeah, we'll definitely have notes there, and I'll try and catch some of it. At least those two matches I'll for sure catch. Just
Yeah,
depends.
if it's on YouTube, you can just like skip to it and just
Yeah,
watch those.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and then we had Double or Nothing, which was the big setup to. We got All In a couple weeks now. Like
I'll
we said,
say
that's the
the
thing
only
we
one
can.
I got to watch like
Okay.
in full was the Anarchy in the Arena because
Well,
that's the one I
Moxley,
want to
you know.
watch the most. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you? So I guess I can ask you that. Well, one, what do you think about Anarchy in the Arena? And then two, we can tie that into because I'll
I can
talk about
still
the.
talk about like the results and
Yeah,
stuff and the
exactly. Yeah. So that's what I was going to
storylines.
talk to you
Yeah.
about. Is Moxley keeping that title in it? So we can do Anarchy in the Arena. And we'll talk about Ospreay and Hangman right here, and then I can talk about the match quality of it. But yeah, what did you think about Anarchy in the Arena?
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. I think it definitely improved on like I said the complaints I had about the one last year. Where last year I felt like there was a lot going on, but
Mm-hmm.
it was like sort of like disorganized. Like there were a lot of big spots, but everyone was like sort of doing their own thing, and it was just kind of hard to follow.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that with this one. Like there was still a lot of big stuff going on, but I felt it was a lot more organized and focused on like something big wasn't happening in like one of the four.
Yeah.
Like when they went split screen, it was just like people like brawling. Like last year when they went split screen, like in one of them someone was like doing something crazy, and it's like, oh, you just like missed that.
They placed the big spots and pops together better, and I felt like they would start to interact, where it's like people be fighting backstage, and then people are on the main stage, and eventually those people from backstage would like,
Yeah,
like at
it
one
all
point it was
flowed
like
a lot better.
yeah, it was like Swerve and Kenny were fighting the Bucks, and at one point like other people started to come, like it was like Joe and Claudio, and I was like, okay, eventually it all tied together. Because I agree with you, where like
Yeah, they try to keep people closer together.
yes,
And
like
like you and yeah. Oh,
I
you
like
go,
these
yeah.
matches. It's just like I said before, it, like that multi stuff in the crowd does get a little just like, okay, when am I supposed to fall? And it's just like, cause I'm always about like, it sounds super cheesy, but like, what is the story of the match? And that's where stuff with these ones, it's like, for like sometimes 10 to 15 minutes, there's literally like no story. It is just big spot, big spot. Where this one actually felt a little like you talked about, like more paced together spot wise. And one thing I liked about it is, I know it sounds stupid, but I said this in the Discord. It felt like at times they were working really fast in a good way, though. There was just like, there's that one time on the stage where it's like spot after spot after spot. But like I said, like, it felt like Avengers Endgame, where it was just like they were going, and that's where it fit with doing it to let the bodies hit the floor. It was just like pandemonium. It's just like thing after thing. It was just like, but like you said, I think there was a good rest period where, okay, Kenny and Swerve just took out the Bucks. They got taken out. Now we're going down to
Yeah, I felt
Willow.
it was timed very perfectly because
Yeah.
every time, like one of the examples was like I was watching, it's like I feel like I haven't seen Kenny in like 10 minutes, and then like right then
He
is
has the
when he came
shields.
back,
Yeah.
and yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is good.
And I
Like I
like,
felt like they timed people's like rest spots
yes.
like well enough where like all something was always going on.
And I actually thought they did stuff where people got a moment, because sometimes it's like, other than the main characters, there was just like a 3 minute portion where Will Hobbs was just fucking everybody up, and they made him, like I said,
Yeah.
he looked like Batista '05 in there for a second,
Yeah.
where it was like, man, is this guy gonna beat Mox in a few
Yeah,
weeks?
I
And that's
think
where it was,
everyone got a yeah, even like Shibata, you know, my hero throwing Yuta in the trash
he did, yeah.
backstage.
And even then, like, what got a good reaction was when he wrapped the barbed wire around his foot, and then he like
Yeah.
chest kicked, and the crowd was like, oh my god, like they did a much better job, and everyone got a moment. There was still some weird stuff of like, I get what they did, but like Hook came in to get revenge on Claude and then
Yeah,
bounced,
like-
and it was like, and I get what they're doing, because he looked at Joe and was pissed. The story's gonna be he's mad that they replaced him, right, with Hobbs, because remember he got hurt, but
Yeah.
it still was like, all you're gonna do to Claudio is just hit him with the glove, and like what if they, like, that was still, after that happened, there's still 10 minutes of match. What if they fucking
he
won?
just, like he just
Wait.
left. He's like,
Yeah.
he could have been part of the Death Riders.
Like, to me, that would have been a situation where, like, oh, you could have used that spot to write Claudio off for the match. Like, Hook takes him out, and that, like, even if they could win it, it's like, no, I took Claudio out. He's hurt. I still don't know what the fuck they're doing with Gabe Kidd here, because at least they didn't do the meme finish like you said, where which was, this is where my hope for All In, they teased the meme finish where looks like the good guys are gonna win. Gabe comes in, clears house, and then Kenny gets put in the Bulldog choke, and this is where Samoa Joe comes to break it up. The pop was huge because the crowd was like,
Yeah.
fuck, we're getting this. So that's where I was like, man, are they finally like, yeah, this is running its course. And that's one thing I will say about this too. Like, the Deaf Riders for, I'd say, at least last 4.5 months has not been fun. This helped for them because it was finally like, we're doing some fun stuff with like Moxley and Shakir and like even Yuta. Like, it was just not so dead serious where it's like, man, every time they're on the card, it's like, fuck, it's gonna go down. But this was like, okay, an actual highlight. But they were so smart to tease the Gabe Kidd finish and not do it. But I still wish Kidd was
And that's
in
why
the
they
match.
teased it here because they're doing it at All In.
Yeah, yeah, and maybe it is. And again, I said this in the Discord. It's when they did a match. It was, I can't remember who Willow's partners were, but it was
I
him.
think it was Speedball and
Briscoe, which
yeah.
Briscoe made sense
Yeah,
because
because they're doing Briscoe versus Mox this
yeah,
week.
which made sense because he interfered in the match. That's fine. Don't know where Speedball came from at all in the story. It was just like there's so many
He's
people
just,
you could
he's
see.
just like the nice babyface who just like teams up with everyone.
He's the babyface in GM mode that always has like 80 stamina. You're like, yeah, we're booking you. Like that's speedball, you know? And he had a good match with Okada. Okada, like David said, he woke up. He showed up and he was like, I'm gonna, because he knows he's getting ready for that Kenny match. He's like, oh, I gotta fucking get this ring rust stuff. But
Yeah,
no,
this is the most you can get out of Okada. Like the least is like collision Okada. That's the lowest
absolutely.
tier Okada.
Yeah, absolutely. When it's like a championship eliminator, it's
Yeah,
like, oh
yeah,
no.
Eliminator on collision.
Yeah.
That's when you're getting rest hold Okada.
Yeah, but no, that was good, and yeah, this to me was my favorite one because it was paced well and lots of fun moments, and like even then when they had the music where they had Kenny switch to the Get Excited, which was like the Dynamite theme for one week,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like it felt like the best of old AEW
I
where they
liked
were
how
very
they
like
started
fourth.
with like the Bucks is
Yeah,
like
the founding
revolutionary.
fathers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and kudos to them for wrestling the whole match. Not even just in the get up, they
Yeah,
had
I
the
was
fucking
thinking that
jackets.
like wow, yeah, it's like they must be like dying in there.
They had the jackets, and yeah, and they had great like even I imagine they got clearance like Swerve, like not even Predator gear, just dressed as the Predator. I was like, I hope they got clearance because when David's like, "What? I miss Penta doing this stuff," like he had the helmet, but some great moments there. So no, this to me was actually my
The
favorite one.
forklift was really good too. When
Yeah,
you just like that's another thing. There's just like stuff going on where like every time you're forgetting about something, they just come back and do something cool. Like
yes.
Swerve just like coming in with the forklift and stuff.
And that's what they do. It feel like even if you got some brawling for a while, like you said, they'd bring in a big moment to kind of wake up the crowd. And no, and that's why I
And
like.
it's like yeah, it's like that's what you're saying. Like Hobbs, he was like taking everyone down,
Mhm.
and then they like get him down, and they're just like beating him up, and it's like okay, crowd going down, and then Swerve comes in. It's like okay, back up again. It's like
Yeah.
they very much knew like how to keep the crowd invested.
And it was a long, because let me look. That was at least half
It
an
was
hour,
like
right? 35
I
minutes.
mean I watched it. Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
30, and that's without entrances. So with
exactly.
entrances, it was like probably like 45, 50 minutes.
Hmm. And obviously, because like we might think, who knows about if Tony's pivoting, whatnot, but there could be some changes in the on card. What I liked about that finish was it was Swerve. He had the fucking tack shoes. They went on sale, not the tack shoes, but his shoes went on sale. But he did that, and then he took a buck. That's why I like that you could return that story, but that also worked as like a Swerve God's revenge for cost of them. Like I thought that was like a perfect. We don't have to return this because I don't think they're doing Swerve and well, they're not doing Swerve and Heyman, but like they clearly knew that. And but yeah, that to me was actually my favorite one. It was tons of fun, and yeah, and it was a great time. So that can transition us into like we said, Death Riders took a loss. I lost to 3-man. The main event was Hangman versus Ospreay. I've not decided what it's going to be, but at least in my my drop kick list, I'm keeping track of my match of the years. That's in there. This was fantastic because yes, you got the everyone loves the dog and Will Ospreay about going 110% all the time. What I loved about this, and I'm sure at some point you might see it, but what I loved about it is eventually they started to do this stuff where Heyman kept like face like smudging him and like really bullying him, and he would do this thing where at one point he like put Hangman or he put Ospreay in the corner, and Ospreay would hit him, and Hangman would no sell it, and then Hangman would hit him, and he would sell it. So then, like about 15 minutes of the match, they made Ospreay just get like really pissy about it, and that's where he started to like. It was almost like a double turn. He started like using the steps, using the table, and even the announcers were like, "Oh, you don't want to win this way." So it was cool. They made Ospreay like an annoyed little kid of like, I can't beat this bigger brother, and that's what I liked about it, and that's why at the end the handshake kind of meant more because Ospreay was getting really shitty. Even then, like people, I don't track this, but they've like noted when he like takes down the elbow pad, and usually it's only for like the people he hates, and he did this for Hangman. So that's what it was cool, where it started as like, oh, we're having this great wrestling match where Ospreay was like, I fucking hate, like he's kind of like was embarrassed in the match, but yeah, for me, this was a 5-star. I love like at one point Hangman used Swerve's finisher. Ospreay used Kenny Omega's finisher. They're calling back to all their rivals and all these different stories. It was like good inner like linking of stuff, and I really enjoyed it. And obviously, a bit of the finish has a bit to do with the star factor because like I was surprised. I want Hangman to win, but I thought nah, it's gonna be Will. But no, this was a phenomenal. This felt like it should be like a feud ender type of match where it's like, okay, they've had 2 matches and this is the finale, but this was the first. It was almost in the sense that I actually never want them to wrestle again. I want them just to leave it as one. I'm sure they will, but it was fantastic. And yeah, so Hangman won. Yeah, for me, this is a match year contender. Right now, it's like, it's them, it's the Hollywood ending, it's the 3-way at Mania, the women's 3-way, it's Gabe, Kidd, and Kenny. I think those are like my 4 like contenders right now, and I don't actually have like a number one. I maybe give like a slight edge to Kenny and Gabe right now, but I need to
Wait,
rewatch
which one
that
did you
because
say was the women's?
the
What?
three the opener for 41 night two, like
Oh,
Rhea,
okay,
Io, and
okay.
Bianca. Yeah, that match was
I was just
fantastic.
thinking, I don't know, I was just thinking AEW, and I was like, which
Oh
one's
yeah,
the?
no.
Yeah,
I
I
got
know.
so no, I got so right now I got two AWs, one New Japan, and a WWE, and I actually think I have. I don't think it'll reach that now. I did have Punk and Rollins, from the Netflix thing, but I don't think that is now. I think I've seen better ones. And then the other one I got to go back is Sammy and Punk was this year, right? From Raw. That
Yeah.
was really good. Same thing, it's been my contention, but so Hangman, he wins it, wins the Owen. You know, you talk about your King John Moxley. What do you think's happening, Olin? Do you think they're gonna drop it to Hangman, or do you think the AEW crowd is gonna be heartbroken? Because I've said this in the Discord, I'll say this before you go. I think AEW is not the peak. The peak of AEW is when Omega was champ, to I'll literally say Brawl Out. When Brawl Out happened, there was a shift in the product. But until then, that was like Hangman, or it was like Omega, Hangman, Punk. You got Punk, MJF. Like 2021, 2022, that was on fire AEW. I don't think it's that hype, but I actually think it's like the second era right now. It's doing good. They got some great TV. The pay-per-views have been great. Other than the Death Rider stuff's been hanging it down. But I've said, if Hangman loses it all in, it's going to be one of the darkest periods since Brawl In and all that stuff because, man, it's I think that's really playing with the fans' heart. Osprey's a different case if he were to lose. Hangman's like he's an OG. It's him, Bucks, Omega, and Cody. Like, to me, those are the real like founding fathers. So what do you think's going to happen at All In now with Hangman and Moxley?
I do think Hangman is probably gonna win, even
Mm-hmm.
though I want Mox to win, just because it'd be funny.
Don't put that
Uh,
on us.
but yeah, I do think he's gonna win. I mean, I can see the story and everything. I do wonder if it's gonna be like the actual end of the Death Riders there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Heyman could win without it being like I feel like they would just do another Hangman Mox match and that would be like the actual end of it.
Mm,
I feel like there's still like one more in there.
I agree.
Like cuz I think where would the rest of the Death Riders be on this card like do you think they would all lose?
It's tough because if they do a
Because I think they
Bloodlines
could,
rules
but I
type of
just don't know if
ending,
all of them are in the match. Yeah.
yeah, that's the thing. If they do like a Bloodline rules type of ending, they could not be on the card because now they don't have those trios titles, so those are gone. I don't think Mina Shakir is wrestling, so and I think that's also what Brian's
I
gonna
think you
do.
just like combined like Marina Shafir and Mina Shirakawa just like into
I
one
did,
name.
yeah. Marina Shafir, sorry, yeah.
Mina
I don't think they're
Shirakawa and the
wrestling,
Death
yeah.
Riders. That's the
And
new prediction.
why I think we're gonna get the Bloodline rules ending is because I think that's what Brian's gonna be doing at All In. They always say, "Oh, I'll be there, but I don't know what I'm doing." I think he's gonna be the Undertaker or Cena. He's gonna be one of the last people to come out, and it's not so much to help Hangman, but it's to screw over the Death Riders. I don't even think it's like Taker. Like, I don't think that should mean Brian has to be back, but I think that's a bow tie to like they tried to fucking murder this man on TV. It's like the least he can do is cost Moxley the title, and that's where you get the Darby return. Because I think what you do then, and I
And then
agree with you, the
you get a
writers.
Sting return to
Yeah, you
beat
could
him
do the
up.
Sting
Yeah.
return with Darby. Yeah, you could, and that's where I think the Death Riders won't be
Oh,
dead
you
because
could
what
say
you,
yeah. You have like say like Death Riders start coming out and like say it's like Yuta and Claudio and like Sting and Darby beat them up and then it's just like
Moxley
Mox I don't
left
know
and then it's
Marina
the
still takes someone
final
out and
count.
then yeah
Well, you
Danielson
get
comes
Willow, right?
out.
Because Willow's in the
Oh
story now,
yeah.
so you can have
And
her
then
come
yeah,
down.
everyone's down, and then I don't know, like Mox like hits the ref or something, and then it's
Yeah.
like oh like everyone's gone, but the ref is still
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
down, and then yeah, Danielson
Yes.
comes out,
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what's going to happen. And that's where it sets up to, I agree with you, the Death Riders
and
won't be
then at the
done
very end, Osprey comes out, turns heel on Hangman,
with
Mox
Swerve and they
retains.
just beat
Yeah,
him up. Yeah. That's where they won't end because I feel like the story, they can still do Moxley and Darby and have Darby win him with no title. Like, that can still be the story of those two that he has to beat him. And I think that's where you start the end of the Death Riders. And then you can also have, like, not that I want this, but you can have the infighting, you can finally have you to turn, or you can have Moxley and Claudio, and like Moxley can be busy. Like I don't know, just go give Moxley a longer break again. He never got that. So, but yeah, I think Hangman wins here, and to me I think it's the thing that I think AEW is consciously knowing that they have some of their people, like hardcore fans, kind of like myself, very happy with the product again, other than some aspects. You can't ever be perfect for the most part, but if Hangman loses, it's over. So I think they know that. I think Swerve and Ospreay is a good, like, here, just have two people put on a good match type of thing. And they already have a storyline, right? Of Ospreay wants him to help, and he doesn't. So there's a story right there. Design some stuff. I still don't know. I was exactly what David's thought. FTR versus Daniel Garcia and Nigel. I love that. I gave that like a 4. It was way better than I thought. This was like old school black and gold FTR. It was a great brawl. And there was one point where they took out Nigel. Then the last 5 minutes is just them beating up Garcia, and then Garcia loses. It's a perfect, just like it's like a 2v1 situation where it's like, what's he gonna do? And they just beat him up. Still don't know if the plan is Edge and Christian. I don't know how. I really don't. Christian is posting like meme photos of him watching AEW by a fireplace. Like, I don't see the line. Christian's still a piece of shit. I don't know where it is, and I know some people might be like, oh, maybe it's gonna be Edge and somebody else. Like, that to me doesn't work either. Like, so I don't know. I think there's actually a chance that match doesn't happen at all. In maybe if it's some, like, it could be some amalgamation, like a 6-man, but I could see it not happening. I really don't know, but maybe watch next week. They'll attack Christian and it's all changed. But that was really good. Ricochet versus Mark Briscoe, I didn't like as much as David. I think that could have been on Collision or Dynamite, but it was a interesting match. It was a stretcher match. The first like 10 minutes is like comedy where Mark Briscoe's like shining Ricochet's head with like cleaner and like they're making ball jokes, and then the next half is like Mark Briscoe's bleeding everywhere because he busted him with scissors, and it's super serious. So still good. It was like a 3.5. Hurt Syndicate versus the Sons of Texas. They beat them for the titles. I guess we're leading to MGF versus Bobby at All In. Such a fucking random. Such a
MJF
random.
with the trophy at All In.
No, he's wrestling Bobby. I think he's wrestling Bobby. It's so random, but I just wonder, hey, is MGF going to go to WWE or is he going to go to Hollywood? Because he's a lot of that fucking Happy Gilmore trailer. But you know what? I'll say I've turned the corner on this a little bit. I still don't understand it. Before I didn't like it. There's been some comedy stuff that has got me. MJF is like good at playing that like chicken shit, like smarmy heel, but you kind of like him. He's back to being a babyface pretty much again. And actually, like him and Bobby arguing the match, and then Bobby eventually like, oh yeah, like I do like you. And they're like hugging, like it kind of worked. But I still, for me, MJF, like his all matches against Bobby is very odd. Like that's, I really don't know what. And maybe the turn won't happen. That's soon. I don't know, but it was fine. Tony Storm versus Mino was really good. It was as good as what I wanted their first match to be. Their first match was maybe it was just too Mariah May, like lore heavy, and it was just like all looking at her, like, and they ended with the kiss.
The start of like Timeless Tony Storm for a while was just like not that good. Like,
very comedy driven.
Yeah.
Yes.
It took like a while for her to like start doing, because it was very much like the gimmick she was doing, like as if she was a wrestler from like the 1940s.
She was doing like the strong woman stuff, but now you can tell it's like she still does some of that, but it's like 25-75%, where like you said before, it was like 50 or 75. So you're probably right. I forgot that there was there, because I remember like Dave and Brian, like from Observer, were like, she's not gonna have good matches if she wrestles like this. It's gonna be shit. But yes, I agree with you. That's probably exactly what it is. Where now she's wrestling. Forgot to mention, I gotta watch it again. I haven't ranked it on Dropkick because I had people over at the start of it. But Monet and Hayter, really good match. I think it's like at least a 4. They had really good chemistry, but I think Monet's just in her fucking groove. She's just having great matches with everybody. But Hayter, again, it's much like Statlander, where it's like she does the power game, so they did it really well. Again, ready for Hayter to go to the WWE. People saw, like you talked about on the Discord. I was so excited. She's coming. I'm like, man, they're giving her promo time. This is great. Nah, Fade to Black gets attacked. Like, oh my god. And she's becoming what Cody was near the end of his run, where every time there'd be a returning person or a debut, they'd go through Cody. I remember back then, this is where hindsight's, best to have, because I thought that was Cody's like choice, and I was like, fuck, he's gotta stop doing, like, I hate this. I'm like, I always thought like Cody's making himself work with the new hot thing. And then after he left AEW, he's like, yeah, that was not my idea. That was Tony's. So that's where I'm like, again, I think the problem with Hayter, I've said this before, she got over organically last time, not because she was pushed. So I think Tony doesn't know how to recreate that, but she's still over. When she comes on the match with Monet, she gets a big pop. So I don't know. And don't get me wrong, I get why they're doing Monet and Tony. They got to sell those tickets. I think right now they're just at like 15K, so obviously much smaller than the UK shows, but still good show. It's gonna be one of their bigger gates, but still, I get they're gonna push
it's
tickets.
like a baseball, so
Yes.
you can't even do all four sides.
Yeah, so you want to push it. So like, I get why you're doing that. I still personally would have preferred Hayter and Tony, with Hayter flipping to heel, and then Athena and Mercedes too, because that was a really great match. But we're doing this.
Athena returning to ROH this week. They put out
great.
an announcement video.
Great. Which, yeah. So I would
I
prefer that.
It's like this is the most stat padded title reign since
Absolutely.
Roman's end
Since
of
Roman.
Roman.
It's very, or like some of Brock's stuff too, where Brock would just
Yeah.
disappear for months. But yeah, it's interesting, and I do think we'll do a prediction show also, but I do think Tony's going to lose, and I don't know if I love the idea of Monet having both of those, unless it's like for a very short couple months, and then like I said, like Willow beats her or something. But because now, what usually AEW they've been doing a bit better. Women have been main eventing. We've had multiple Dynamites now with 2 women's matches, but like for All In, what do you think they're going to do for a second women's match? Because it was okay, world title, TBS title. If Monet's busy, it's like, I don't know what they're going to do. I guess you can do like Athena and Thunder, but again, I'll say this all the time. I don't care about ROH. I don't care about the state of ROH right now. So it's like, that just feels lame.
Did you see Mercedes tweet about All In?
No.
She was like, 2 years ago, I was at All In as a fan. This year, I'm wrestling at All In. Just like last year, nope, didn't happen.
Oh no! Oh no! I forgot the Brit. Yeah, I forgot about that. Hey, again, I always say the build-up was great, match was not so much. But yeah, so I guess just ROH. But I really don't want that, especially because like Athena's not on TV that much.
Second women's match, maybe you just like the women's tag titles. You introduce them, and that'll be like you do the Anna Jay and Harley Cameron versus
Penelope and
Megan
Megan
Bayne and Penelope Ford.
Which honestly was a really fun, good weapons match this week. And Megan Bayne I didn't know much about her. She has made me a fan. Every time she's on screen, she has a presence and she brings it. That, or here's my pitch. My pitch is do number one contenders.
Casino Gauntlet.
Yeah, do the gauntlet. Get a bunch of women on the show. Get a Hater. Get the Toxic Spider Lady.
Big debut or something.
Exactly. Like that to me feels way more just than the ROH Athena. If they want to do the tag titles, that's fine. I'd be for that. Again, build up that roster. I like that more than Athena, who's barely on AEW TV, and Thunder Rosa, who's
Athena is not gonna be like they have an RH pay-per-view that weekend. I'm pretty sure. So then that week, so that's gonna be there.
Have Athena, be in the gauntlet, but that's my pitch. Is do the gauntlet, and I think that would be tons of fun. And then you got Monet right away. Make Willow win that.
They did do the gauntlet. Yeah, they did one before for the women.
They did, yeah. And I can't remember who.
Toni Storm won it. That was when she was in like the rookie
Gimmick. When she was, and then she was her first title shot. Okay, so yeah, that's my watch. And then Mariah May comes back in the gauntlet, and everyone's like, oh my god. But no, that's my pitch. But no, All In, it could be shaved up. But I think the matches that are rumored or set right now are very good. So the top level stuff is good. It's a lot of the undercard that I don't think I'm worried about. It's just now it's like, okay.
And also if you do MJF and Lashley, like who are the Hurt Syndicate losing the titles to, or are they just champions just don't defend? Because I think it's AEW with like the tag titles, I feel like that is an important part. Unless they just drop the FTR before then or something like that.
They could, and like I just they have time, but it's not that far away, the pay-per-view. So like to do like a drop the title and
they have a 4-hour Dynamite this week. So.
That's true, and I know multiple people have said that they're trying to make that show really big. So maybe there will be some very big developments on there. So that's a good point, that maybe they can do some stuff there. And yeah, maybe it's a thing where they lose the titles to FTR. MJF accidentally screwed them or did screw them. Like I don't know what it's gonna be, or it's kind of up in the air. But yeah, you're right. They probably want those tag titles, and I could see at the same time though. I feel like that might be a multi-man because if they're not doing Swerve and Hangman versus the Bucks, what are the Bucks doing at All In? You know, like Kenny's busy. He's got whatever.
Also, when is All Out this year? It's not right after All
I think
In,
it's
right?
let's find out. I think it's a few weeks after. They're getting better with
Because I was thinking like
September
what
20th. So yeah, it's a few because when is All
no,
In's
it's
in
like
July though, actually, right?
yeah, because
Yeah,
I think
it's
now
okay.
Forbidden Door is between.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay. So that's a few
Yeah.
months away. So
Yeah, no,
yeah.
because I was thinking maybe what is the like, because weren't MJF and FTR like in a faction before,
The
and like
pinnacle.
people, yeah,
Yeah.
people are
They're always
theorizing
on
because like
top.
MJF said something about like in promos with like Hurt Syndicate, he said something about being like the pinnacle of wrestling or something like that. Like I
Hmm.
feel like what if they do like a six man of like MJF and FTR against like all three of the Hurts with like MVP even
Yeah.
wrestling.
You
And
can do
then
that.
at like all, I was thinking like if All Out is next, like you do the six man and then you do like FTR versus like Lashley and like for the tag titles,
Right.
like
No.
some sequence of that.
I think we're partially right, but I think I forgot why people have changed their mind. I forgot All Out is in Toronto, and that's
Oh
the
yeah,
Edge
that's
and
Edge,
Christian
yeah.
spot. And that to me feels way more.
Edge and Christian versus Lashley and Shelton Benjamin.
Well, it could be that or FTR, whatever it is. Like I think
Yeah,
that, like to me, if you say, "Hey, Edge and Christian can get together by September," tons of time. July,
yeah,
not
and
so
yeah, I
much.
think
So
FTR would by then.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, and but yeah, it'll be interesting if they do the Pinnacle because I've seen that theory. But when Dax used to have a podcast, he like I don't think it was work, but he kind of let it known that like that they it didn't sound like him and MGF got along because it sounded like the pitch was to be a group, but then he like they all kind of felt like it was just like a group to prop up MJF. Like they took it as like, oh, we're gonna do four horsemen, but then as it went along,
Just
like,
like
oh, this is
MJF's crew. Yeah,
yes, yes, and he was, and then I think he brought that up to Tony and MJF. Kind of like sounded like there was some heat, but maybe that's years later, so we'll see. But yeah,
okay.
that's sort of stuff. Even like Young Bucks too. I could see my I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I could also see, walk with me now, a babyface turn. I could see in the Bloodlines rules match when they come down and you think they're going to help Moxley, that they turn and they help Hangman. Because when Hangman won the title the first time, they were with Omega and they were going to interfere on Omega's behalf, but they didn't. They walked away and let Hangman win. So I could
Yeah.
see, and honestly, that would be a big pop moment, and that's some like Bullet Club elite lore where they,
I
you
was
know,
thinking
in the
you should.
moment they finally see them, their friend, and they go, we're gonna help them, and then boom, and that's what the Rough Riders could do for a little bit too. They could fight the Bucks, right?
Yeah,
So
or I was thinking they should just do like Hobbs and Willow versus the Bucks as a match, like just as a
oh,
tag team match.
that
Like they
that's
should
one
just
thing.
do that.
Yeah, that's what I don't think I forgot to mention. I loved that at the first few times the men hit the women, they made this big deal, and then 3 minutes later they were just wrestling like it was an intergender match, and I love that.
Yeah.
Like Willow tombstoned one of the Bucks. Like it's fantastic. Like I would love that, even if it was like if you had Mina in there too, and you did that, ran that back.
Yeah,
But
because last year they did a mixed tag team at All In, but it was on the pre-show.
right.
It was Statlander and Stokely versus Willow and Ishii.
Right, Ishii, right, yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. So, like I said, lots of top. That's what I'm at least
Maybe
excited
Ishii
about.
gets an All In match. He always just shows up
Put him
and,
in the
and
women's
does some
gauntlet. Just have
stuff.
him fucking just bumping everybody around. Put Hater versus fucking Ishii. Let's do it. But no, so that's why right now with All In, I'm excited because the top card's looking good. It's just that bottom card that not looking bad. Just a lot of like
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. It's
questions.
just like undecided. Like I
Yes.
think there's still a lot that could happen.
Yeah. So
Plus, you
and
never know how many matches are
I was gonna
are
say,
gonna
you know
be
that
on the
show's gonna have
show.
15, 16 matches, and it's gonna go 8 hours. So hence why we're not doing the gimmick on the Saturday. Even if it's in the afternoon, like you said, fucking All In could be going till 1 a.m. Saturday's main event will be over and All In will still be happening. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, like I said, the next episode will be the predictions of Evolution. Hopefully we get some cards, some matches soon. We'll have or sorry, no, I was wrong. Next week will be Money in the Bank and then after predictions. So yeah, Money in the Bank will be fun time. We'll get some new draft points, see what happens. We'll get David's full thoughts on some stuff. And yeah, we'll be back next week for Money in the Bank on the Sunday. Time to be the just look out on the social medias. And yeah, we'll be back then. Thank you for listening next week.